I'm going to start recording for YouTube now, so all of you behave yourselves in the chat. I'm going to hide you so you can't spoil anything for me. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Internet. There's a Helluva Boss that got uploaded called Mastermind. I've managed to avoid spoilers. Wasn't too hard since I've mostly been staying off the internet. I've been doing a bunch of stuff in real life where I live and exist. But we should probably do a reaction to it. Before I do, though, crash commercialism. Hello, look at this. I have a merchandise store. I made a merchandise store. I launched it today because of it is Black Friday. So there is savings with discounts on things because of the day that it is. I'm not entirely sure why Black Friday is a thing, but it exists, and it's there, and you can buy t-shirts with little phrases that I say, a mug that says trans rights, just because it's good to have the truth to hand and to drink from it. If you've been watching me in Power Play, there's shirts with a design from the thing in the Power Play that I play. Also, my face on a mug, you can put my face on your socks for some reason. I don't know, like, I literally just saw in the interface for the shop that I'm using that you can have socks with things embroidered on them, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So you can put my face on your socks for some reason. Please don't tell me why. Please don't tell me why you would do that. Just like do it, keep it to yourself. I don't need to know. So there's things there. You can spend your money on it if you want to, but you really don't have to. It's just a thing that it's better than trying to do sponsorships, right? So with that little bit of crass commercialism out of the way, let's see the episode. Let's see what's happening. I'll do a bit of prediction first. Not that much of a prediction, but like this seems like it's following up from the stuff that's been set up with Stella and her, was it brother? Like the weird sort of quasi-incestuous fucked up relationship that she has with him. And since the thumbnail has Blitz and Stolas in it, I expect a little bit of drama. I'm curious to see what, like, presumably this episode is going to have to move their relationship forward in some way. And my assumption at the start of it is, like, if there's any lesson that Blitz has to learn or Stolas has to learn about each other here, it'll be them trying to negotiate some way of existing together as something other than extremely bitter ex-boyfriends, or people so desperately trapped in their longing that they can't function properly. And, like, if it follows the sort of usual pattern, then it'll be a thing of, like, they get forced together because of some bullshit that Stella's shitty brother does, and they conflict, and then they have a moment of, like, the conflict gets so intense that it explodes and causes them to force them to confront their emotions about each other, and then they progress a little bit more along the sort of developing as a character track. That would be the stereotypical way to do it, because it's a very effective way to do it. Don't know if that's how they're going to do it, but I'm curious to see. Anyway, I'm excited to see that guy come back, because, like, Stella is, like, I've said this many times that Stella is underdeveloped as a villain to me, because she's just kind of a huge raging cunt, right? Like, she's just the worst bitch you've ever met in your life, just a piece of shit asshole. And it's that thing of, like, it'd be nice to get some insight into how she became that way. Not in order to have sympathy for her or forgive her, but to understand, right? Like, to understand the process that it takes to make a person that way, in the same way that we have been very willing to understand the process that it takes to make Blitz into the person that he is. That would make her a more interesting villain. Because what I got, the implication that I got, yeah, we'll start the episode in about 45 minutes probably. I'm off on a yap right now. The implication that we got in the last episode with Stryker, and where we saw the relationship with the brother, is that Stella is in a state of extremely arrested development. That she is essentially still, like, a child, completely a child, who's never learned to grow up, who's never had to grow up, because she's always been, on the one hand, coddled, and on the other hand, had reinforced that her value is contingent on her usefulness, right? Like, and that being a childish, easily manipulable, miserable bitch the way that she is like a thing that allows her brother and the people around her and her family to manipulate her into being a useful tool for whatever their purposes is, right? That was the implication that I got from it, at least. That may not turn out to actually shake out. Maybe I'm just misreading it, but I'm curious if we get to see a little bit more of, like, oh, that's why, like, that's how you turn a person into that much of an asshole. I see. That would be interesting to me. Any of that gonna happen? Hell if I know. Let's see. Wait, is this the Christmas episode too?
You seem in good spirits today.
Oh, yes. Stolas has had his heart shat on by that little imp cretin he was seeing.
Oh?
Yes, I believe he finally learned that that filthy little beast was only using him to gain access to his grimoire. Fucking moron.
Gain access.
Oh, okay, so it's not just this aesthetic, it's fundamentally this guy's an ice guy. Not just ice wizard, but like his bodily fluids are... Well, there's some kink potential in that, but okay.
To his what?
That fancy book thing.
No, wait. Stolas was letting an imp use his Goetia-given grimoire.
Grimoire? Goetia-given grimoire? Again, I like the little decisions about like which bits of speech to really emphasize. And like you can also see the way that like the animator is fucking with the concept. We have this like very two-dimensional flat Helluva Boss character design, but as we need to say grimoire, we all of a sudden like, oh, now we're treating the beak like its lips so we can really enunciate grimoire.
An imp use his Goetia-given grimoire, and you didn't tell me?
Why do you care?
Because we have been trying to figure out a means to usurp your horny ex-husband's power, and this whole time you knew about the incredibly illegal thing he was doing, and you didn't think it might be a good idea to let me know?
Well, don't yell at me!
Yeah.
Now I fucking know!
So, okay, the episode is taking care to establish some power level here. I think that's kind of part of the point, is not just to establish, like, hey, Mr. Ice Guy has ice powers that do ice things, but also, motherfucker can freeze a room just by getting mad for a second. Also, nice peacocking. I guess this would be him transitioning into, like, full demon form, I guess, sort of in the same way that Stolas does.
Think it might be a good idea to let me know?
Well, don't yell at me!
I like that she matches him on that one, right? Like, that Stella is not someone you can just yell down. You have to manipulate her. Because we haven't really seen anything in terms of, like, what powers Stella might have yet, right? Like, in terms of... Given that she is of the higher demon class, Goetia family, whatever that bullshit is, presumably she has some kind of power to herself. We've never really seen her use it. But yeah, she's not scared of him. That's clear.
Well, don't yell at me! Now you fucking know!
You are so lucky you are hot, Stella.
Again, that's a thing siblings say to each other.
So, the four of you are... Remind me again?
We're interns, sir. We're looking for cool businesses.
Interns, huh? So here's me sitting there going through, okay, so were they sent by Maxie or so, like, were they sent by like Moxie's dad? Are these like going to turn out to be secret bad guys, or are they just like kids who are there and Blitz has to deal with like the concept that he could possibly be cool? I don't know. My mind just goes off immediately, kind of goes, oh, I need to figure out exactly where... Like, maybe I could just watch the episode instead of trying to predict it. Cool character designs, though. Like, variety. Certainly, like, that's the thing, like, normally in, like, an episodic TV show, I would... If you have a bunch of characters and their character designs are highly distinct, and, like, each individually have a lot of personality, the read on that in like a serialized cartoon, like that's like syndicated on like a network, you'd go, okay, these characters are now important. Like they have strongly not enough individual character designs that they matter in some way. Whereas if they don't matter that much, then you just get like 4 generic whatevers, like not really particularly distinct in body type, height, etc. So my read on this would be, okay, these characters have some level of importance. Not necessarily like main character, whatever, but like they are more than just props for a single scene. But in Helluva Boss, generally the character design is of a caliber that even inconsequential background NPCs that don't matter get good enough character designs that you're like, you can't necessarily tell. It's sort of similar to the way that, you know how in old cartoons, you could kind of look at the background and go, oh, that bit is painted different because that's the bit that can move, and then the other bits are like watercolor, so they can't move. It's a little bit like that, but for character design. But with Helluva Boss, like, I never quite know.
Businesses to work for.
Yeah, I know what interns are. I'm not an idiot, okay? But I can't really afford new employees at the moment.
Oh, interns work for experience, sir.
Come again?
Experience.
Oh, you mean for free?
Experience?
Well, I can't argue with free, kiddo. You're hired.
Sir, you need to see this.
Come out! We've got you surrounded!
Employees of the illegal business I.M.P.
Well, that escalated quickly.
You are hereby arrested for breaking demon law. Surrender yourselves.
You guys are in deep shit!
Blitz, what are we gonna do?
They're gonna dress up the interns and send them out instead to get arrested for him. That's why. That's what they're gonna do. I see it now. Okay, I understand.
You can't escape! Quick! Hide everything!
Come out with your hands up! We are going to beat you!
What?
But only a little!
Fuck!
There's nowhere to run, you little red shit!
Aww. That's cute.
We are going to beat you! But only a little! This may be a lie!
Well, that's how you know they're cops.
I'm trying! I'm fucking trying!
The shredder is jammed!
Then figure it out, Moxie!
Come out with your hands up!
Come on, guys!
Blitz, they will see us!
Well, we can either run or we can face the music.
Very auditors of reality there all of a sudden.
Is this part of the job?
Get in the van. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay, come on, we got
Where are we going?
anywhere but here. Get ready for a life on the run, gang.
Every time.
I fucking hate you so much, Blitz. Freeze, criminals.
Ah, I thought for sure he was going to use the gem. Oh, geez, that's not good.
Guys, this is all just one big misunderstanding. Is this about the orphans? Because they were already sick to begin with.
Satan?
We are here to sentence the criminal imp, Blitzo.
Actually, sir.
Okay, just gonna take a wild stab in the dark. I'm just gonna take a wild guess as to the kinds of fan art that have already been produced of him. just I don't know, of probably very wholesome, like nice pictures, just just, I don't know, baking cookies, maybe. Hanging out with puppies, probably. Just sitting around in a nice sweater, reading the Bible, praising Jesus. Yeah, that's probably what they drew, but what's been drawn of him so far. Always from the waist up. Now, I did want to take a closer look at... Oh, that's still very cute. Let's see, the fucking... So is that supposed to be like an upside-down crucifix in the eye? These then being...
Of the illegal business, I.M.P.
It's, Millie's old mugshot. This presumably being from when both Blitz and Moxie were taken in. What's that picture of Luna, though? Is that? I swear to God, we've probably seen that before.
You are hereby arrested for breaking demon law.
It's gonna be some fucking... Whoever is voicing that particular guy, it's gonna be some fucking Broadway multinational, international mega superstar with a 400-year career who's done voice acting for 40 years, and I'm gonna freak out when I find out who it is.
Surrender yourselves.
You guys are in deep shit!
Blitz, what are we gonna do?
So, like, Grim Reapers, clearly. Whites? Those costumes. Aw, references. Yeah, it has to be an upside-down crucifix, right? I love it when Luna dog poses like that. It's cute. Just, I do adore this joke also. I just... Like, they do it so many times. It should stop being funny by now, but still. Let's see. That also, ugh, don't like that. Then there was this. Another eye. That would be Asmodeus, because of all the love hearts. Huh, Moth. That would be Queen Bee, then. And then, where's Mr. Moneybags? Is that one? And then this sigil up top. Interesting that Lucifer isn't Satan here. I mean, he never was in... As far as I understand... This is what I'm sort of being careful, like, as far as I understand the way that the concept of Satan evolved, the angel Lucifer was never identified with Satan until substantially later, and the concept of Satan is something that comes out of Jewish mythology, the idea of the adversary, or someone who, like, acts as an opposite to God, or a challenger to God in certain religious contexts, but which isn't like, oh, an anti-God, the way that we sort of conceptualize Satan a lot today, is like, Satan is like God's direct opposite, who's like, depending on your theology, as powerful or almost as powerful as him, or capable of seeming as powerful as him, the tempter kind of thing. And that was sort of merged into ideas of like Lucifer, the light bearer, like this fallen angel who was prideful among the heavens and was cast down. Those things got merged together. Like the serpent originally was also not Satan at all. That's like a post-biblical interpretation of the text, I believe. So it's interesting that this, like, that Helluva Boss also sort of takes that view that, like, Lucifer and Satan, entirely different characters.
Come on, guys, this is all just one big misunderstanding. Is this about the orphans? Because they were already sick to begin with.
I feel a little bit of a change in the animation style from the intro to here. I wonder if that was a different team working on it.
Begin with.
We are
Okay, that's badass. Like, fucking lava flowing down.
we are here to sentence the criminal imp. Blitz.
Oh yeah, no, people are feeling normal about him right now. Why is he like an American? Like, why is he specifically talking like he's from the South? Oh, hey, there they are. I didn't even catch them at first. Huh. So you would be from the Greed Ring over there. Asmodeus, Queen Bee. You seem sad. Oh, Sloth, obviously. Sloth, of course. And it's not Greed, it's the other one. Can't remember the one. It's the one. It's the thing of the place.
Actually, sir, the O is really there. You nailed it. Great job.
You and your crew are on trial.
Oh, that is a neck. Okay, I thought it was a shadow. So I was like, is that a hovering face? No, okay. Literally two-faced. That's interesting. Everyone's shown up in their Sunday best, I see. Hey, B. Looking different. Mammon, of course, does not give a shit.
For stealing a powerful
So, these would be the Goetia then. Or some of them. Are they all Goetias, or, like, these are, like, different demon families, I guess? And these would be the Goetia specifically, and then, something like that. Fucking Woody Woodpecker ass over here, looking like... Just fucking... Like, everyone looking like, yeah, I'm so cool. And like, that's just like, hey, guys!
poetic heirloom for undocumented personal use in the...
Who's the parrot, I wonder?
use in the mortal realm.
Jeez.
How do you plead?
So is that supposed to look like barbells because the dude lifts?
Oh, this is about the book? I didn't steal that thing. I mean, I tried, right? But since when is attempting a crime illegal, am I right?
Always.
Point is, it was given to me, okay? I was allowed to use it.
Lies! Your Honor, speaking on behalf of my aggressively attractive sister...
Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. That... My guy! Even in hell! Surely!
I must testify that this brutish imp was forcing himself on her husband, Stolas, who, unlike a responsible and handsome goetic demon such as myself...
The camera's interesting. Who's watching through that? Who's got the recording going on?
...was too weak and ashamed to come forward about it. The poor thing.
What? Hey, I didn't force shit!
This vile, hideous imp has put his kind to shame, committing such horrid acts to gain the upper hand!
That isn't what happened.
Interesting, intricate, like, I'm just looking... 4 eyes integrated into... That's interesting. That would be hard to realize in 3D, this design, I think. Like, if you wanted the mouth to have, like, full mobility.
Sorry. What do we say about negative energies in our mind temple? Remember to take deep breaths.
Right, yeah. Continue.
Satan has anger management issues. That is genuinely kind of funny.
I'd like to add, Your Honor, that in addition to his unspeakable acts with our dear, beloved Stolas...
Who isn't here. Oh, that's a Don Bluth-ass character design over there. I want to see more of this guy. That's a Don Bluth-ass fucking bird motherfucker with those eyebrows and that facial construction. Is that like a serpent person? I want to see more of them! Oh man, give me those background characters.
Wait. Where is Stolas anyway?
Look at that motherfucker! Like fucking Secret of Nim ass motherfucker. Holy shit. I love you already.
Can't he speak on this himself? ¿Qué carajo?
He has not been informed of this trial.
¿Qué? Why not? If this involves him, then he should be here, no? Puedo creer. We need to summon him at once.
Okay, Vasago. Shut the fuck up.
No me voy a callar, pendejo arrogante.
Stella and I didn't want to put him through the trauma of facing his aggressor. Who, might I also add, dramatic pause, plotted to have him assassinated!
Man, fucking background character design alert every 2 frames in this fucking episode. Look at these motherfuckers. Oh, fucking hell, these are so cool. That's very not like the fucking floating skull in the smoke cloud kind of just like a parade of people's coolest OCs. Like is that a thing of like everyone on the animation team just got to design an OC for this?
Puta madre. That wasn't him. We don't know who wanted Stolas dead, but it wasn't Blitz.
Oh? Well, perhaps we should ask.
Of course he is here. Oh, Jesus. Are you about to have like a southerner off with Satan himself? That would be very funny.
The hitman himself, who has agreed to give us his testimony in exchange for immunity.
It was him, all right. Paid me to kill the precious Goetia to cover up what he was doing with the, line?
Grimoire, book, gripper, grimace, bomb-proof vet after trial.
Line? The grimoire! Yeah, that.
What? Look, I am an assassin, okay? If I wanted to kill Stolas, I would have done it my fucking self!
Oh, Blitz. Of course he would have a tech deck. Of course he would. Jesus fucking Christ. You can see it on B's face. It's like, oh no.
We're gonna fucking die.
Hang on, that's not what I meant, okay? I'm just saying I could have totally fucking killed Stolas myself. But I would never do that.
What a disappointment.
This is bullshit, guys. I've met this little imp dude before. He's a real wild card, but he's a lot of fun, and I think we should hear him out.
Did they actually get Kesha back for this? Or did they get a sound-alike? I never know with this show.
It's probably not a big deal.
Blitz is real lucky that he has an in with like a couple of the major sins. Again, like it's little things with B, right? That like the primary gesture happens with the top 2 hands, right? Like which is so that you animate that like any character that you would. But then the little things like the hand over here as she does the forward gesture here, that hand sort of matches that in the other direction, and you get this nice like asymmetrical, like with the left hand and the right hand are both resting on the hips, and then like that. Yeah, that's just really nice.
It's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a good reason for all this.
Oh, shut up, you two. We all know you enjoy slumming it with the lower class plebs, unlike the rest.
Fidget spinner as well. Okay.
Right, Levy?
Oh,
You wanna fucking go, ma'am?
You're just pissy. Nobody wants to fuck with a flaming pile of clown shit. Also, suck a dick.
Why don't you buzz on back to your mutt, bitch?
Why don't you keep fucking yourself, you big asshole?
Why don't we take a vote? Who wants to listen to hours of testimony?
Me, I do. Am I not being asked? Okay. Who is, Oh! Because Lucifer... Ah! But he's taped a BRB notice to the thing because he's busy in the Pride Ring being sad and depressed and making ducks and starting a war with heaven. Okay. Where the fuck is this in the timeline then? So is this still while Lucifer is moping around in Has-Been Hotel being depressed and making little ducklings? Or is this after? When he has, like, openly started a war with heaven? Because, like, feels like that should be something they should be concerned about.
Who wants to kill this imp bastard and get home for lunch?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck all y'all.
Ha! Suck it, you bloody...
You should have remained in your place, imp. You see, this is what happens when lesser demons try to step out of line.
Oh dear.
For the treacherous crime of stealing a Goetia's grimoire for illegal use, bringing harm to a goetic prince and accessing the mortal coil without clearance or procedure, you, Blitzo, and your crew are hereby sentenced to death.
Hey, Levy, after we celebrate this imp's death, let's go out, huh? Out on the town. What do you reckon?
Why are you into that? Honestly, girl, have some self-respect. Like, you can do better. I swear to God, you can do better. But I'm glad you have another head to remind you.
And due to your bold actions against the laws of hell, your execution will be broadcasted across the 7 rings to remind all of IMP why our power must never be challenged.
Oh, are we actually getting into the class issues? Are we actually getting into it? Remind all of IMP why our power must never be challenged again. Your Honor, I may just be a simple country lawyer, but I give mother a fucking ass. God damn. Again, with the nice background characters, like, hey, Wally. Are we actually getting into the little class thing there, are we? Because that, to me, feels like it's foreshadowing that maybe at some point Stryker will find all of this so fucking distasteful that he turns on it and tries to help Blitz escape. Because I suspect they're about to be real shitty about imps. Don't know, they don't usually last long. Might be back for lunch. You can order something if you want. Wait for me. Yeah, bitch, I'm getting a whole sushi boat for myself. There's nothing you can do to stop me. See you on TV. Love you, baby. Hard limit to what Ozzy can do there, I'm sure.
No! God damn, Your Highness! It was me. It was all me, okay? You can't expect to teach anyone a lesson by killing all of us.
You dare try to tell me how to punish?
Satan. Sorry. You know what? Today is an amethyst, and you're acting kind of ruby. You know, try some meditation. Realign your chakras.
Listen, if those two are... I mean, that's... If you have size difference kink, you know, there you go.
Look, all that hell is gonna see is you executing imps who are just trying to do their job. I'm the rogue here, not them.
Blitz, what are you doing?
Fine. I suppose I created IMP to be obedient. I see no reason to punish the dutiful. Just axe the mouthy one.
Oh, shit. I did not see that coming. Look, I'm sorry, Mox. I did everything I could.
You know he means you, right?
Reaper, yeah. Lots of popcorn. Tonight's program, we watch his head go... Are we gonna get Katie? No, okay. Hey, Stolas!
What are they doing?
Oh dear.
Do you have any final words? We'll pretend to care.
All I was trying to do was rise above the stupid fucking place you all forced us into!
Your Highness, please! Blitz, just...
Moxie, stop.
Blitz, I can't let you.
This big red bitch never planned on hearing us out.
Just take care of Luna for me.
No, I can't look, Millie.
Ooh. Hey, chains. Interesting. Huh. That's, because we know that that's part of Blitz's mindscape, right? Like this particular fear of chains. This particular, like, fixation in his mind of chains holding him down. That was part of his fear about being attached to Stolas, right? Like, the chain. So, are we invoking that on purpose, or is this just because we're in hell and chains is sort of the done thing here? Ooh, nice axe. Again with the eyes. I really keep feeling like I should probably... man. Maybe when Has Been Hotel Season 2 comes out. Because I think with that, with all of the heaven stuff that's probably going to be there, I might be able to develop like a full... Because eyes are clearly like part of Medrano's fixation, right? Like, it's part of her aesthetic that she's sort of used as a grounding for a lot of what she's doing. But like, the whole seeing eyes, vision, being looked upon, being surveilled, panopticon thing that sort of exists apparently in both heaven and hell is like, there's something there. Aye, aye, aye. Anyway, Stolas' big save is gonna have to be pretty cool. Or else, here's the thing, it'd be cool if they did kill him. Right, not in a comic book way, right? Like, sort of a non-permanent, like, oh, he dies, but now his soul goes to super hell, and we have to go get him out, go save him. Or he dies and goes to heaven. That would be so funny. That would be the most funny, that would be the funniest possible thing if it happens, like, it basically the same thing happens to him that happened to Serpentius. I know he's not a dead soul. I know he technically can't. I know it's not how it works. I know. The lore, whatever, but wouldn't that just be the funniest fucking thing? Serpentius arrives up there. They're just sort of barely dealing with it, and then, like, fucking Blitz comes out in a fucking redeemed sinner suit. That would be funny. Anyway, Stolas, time for the big save, buddy boy.
You guys.
Ooh.
Oh, my holy heck.
Ass on my face!
What in Lucifer's hell is this?
I am about to explain everything in the only way I know how.
Stolas, if you are about to sing I Swear to Christ, that would be awesome. But also...
Song.
Oh my god! Come on! I was kidding! I was kidding! I was joking! I didn't mean it! Oh my god. Oh, for fuck's sake, this fucking show. Alright! Okay, sure, what's the banger? Or are they doing the fucking Moana thing where it's like, you're not gonna sing in my court, like, fucking, like, looks into the middle distance, music swells up, then we do the thing. Absolutely not. Use your words. Something like that.
Yes! Yes! Cántalo, baby!
Okay, we're getting a song.
I came down just as soon as I heard of the imp stood accused of a devilish crime.
Oh, we're going full hard on the, like, minor key with the fucking, like, staccato strings and, like, la da 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 da. Hey, that kind of sounds like, there are few who deny that what I do I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide. It sounds a little bit like Jack's song, same sort of vibe. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Could it be that a worm such as this half a brain could concoct such a...
I'm sorry, we're not gonna... Yeah, I'm not just gonna sit through the song when they're doing this in the background. Oh my god. Girl! you cannot seriously be entertained. Like, you cannot even be thinking about it. I swear to God, you are like, you could pull so, like, you have two heads on your, like, do you know how many people you could pull just for, this guy, really? He can't even spell the fucking swear words!
Such a plot.
Also, I'm curious about Sloth. Those are eyes all the way down her neck, isn't it? Their neck? I'm curious about Sloth. Like, again, this is that thing of like, oh, the character has such a distinct character design. Of course they're supposed to do something. They're supposed to be, like, important or matter in some way. But then there's that question of, like, this is fucking Helluva Boss. She could never have a single line ever. It's just that I see this thing of, like, her almost waking up, almost say something, and then sort of falling back down to sleep. That, to me, seems like setup, reminder, payoff structure, where it's, like, gonna do it, like, 3 times, and then on the 3rd time, she's gonna actually say something. I don't know.
Plot so sublime. Does this fool deserve the flame? Or is someone else to blame? Like who, you ask?
Stolas, no, baby. It's fucking theater kid.
Some kind of mastermind, a mind behind the plan. Some villain's grand design to use the book to breach the world of man. Could he be roaming free, scheming more mastermindery? Will he rest? Who knows what he may unleash? Next, do you execute this little wretch? Pat yourself on the back, close the case. Let this imp take the blame, take the fame. Let his name light a fire in the hearts of his race. Why, it's more than I can bear.
He does know how to play the game. So he's like, this is pitched directly to all of the bigotries and the sort of presumptions and concerns and fears and interests of all of the upper class demons that are so desperate. Listen, Helluva Boss, I love you, but if you're actually going here, if you're actually gonna deal with the class thing, if you're you have no idea how long I'm gonna sit here blabbing on. Do you know the level of yap you're going to inspire in me? Do you have any concept how severe the verbal diarrhea is gonna get from me if you actually start going here? Like, you can't put this genie back in the bottle. It doesn't go back. Are you actually gonna do it? Are you actually gonna go for it? Are you gonna sit it? Like, is it still gonna be a little background element? Because you're towing the line of where you can't be like, oh, this is just a background element that we're not gonna make, like, central to the narrative anymore. Someone's gonna interrupt this song at some point to do a counterpoint, like, so that we get this, like, to counter Stolas' argument. I wonder who it is. I'm not 100% convinced that it won't be Blitz.
I must make all of hell aware. Fuck it! I am the mastermind, the hand that holds the strings. No simple imp of mine could master the disaster. Oh, it stings that you thought you had caught the schemer of the schemes I wrought. I confess, it was me and I have...
You all know what I'm gonna say, but, like, motherfucker! The trick is... Part of the trick is we're moving the background on different frames than Stolas, right? So, background is moving on 2s, Stolas is moving on 2s, but they're moving on alternating frame timings. And occasionally together as well. Oh, is it running on like a... Did I? Hang on. What's the? I should check this actually. What the fuck's the frame rate of the file I have? Because if I want to talk about frame rates, I should know that. Item properties. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Sequence settings. 24 frames a second. So we are going on 24. So when do they overlap? Yeah, because they mostly don't, right? Like, they don't move on the same timing almost ever. But anyway, the point of that, it helps smooth the motion, right? Like, it helps everything look like it moves so much smoother because on every single frame, something in frame is moving, even if the individual characters aren't animated fully at, like, on ones. You get that incredible fucking smooth. Like, look at this shit. 3-dimensional as fuck. I just fucking... Who animated this shot? Bring them to me. Because look at the little like the cape over Stolas' arm. The folds, right? Like the way that they rotate slowly into... And like fucking props to the lighting people as well. But the way that like reveals slowly that the mass rotates in and you see like the 3-dimensional back of the folds over his arm as we're like foreshortening the whole thing into the... Same thing with the fucking hand, by the way. Like, ask an artist about drawing hands, right? Like, unless they're some kind of hand pervert who, like, does that all the time. And I know some hand perverts. They're very nice people. But unless they're some kind of hand pervert, they're like, I hate fucking drawing hands. I hate drawing them in perspective. I hate drawing them, like, in 3 dimensions. Like, this fucking... We all want shortcuts not to have to deal with fucking hands, right? I should probably make a pin of that, shouldn't I? Hand pervert, and put that on the merch store. Like, we don't want to deal with hands if we don't have to. And here, like, you could just have made it a black blob. You kind of didn't need, because it's a black arm, you can just kind of make it a shadow thing that, like, where you just manage, like, the outline instead of, but no, we still get the fucking animation of the little, like, white outline thing inside of it, creating the 3-dimensionality on the bottom of the palm. And it's like, motherfucker, you did not need to do that. There were so many shortcuts you could have taken where you wouldn't have to do all of that. The little glove thing around the arm, like, Jesus fucking Christ. The rotation of the head, the way they use, like, Stolas, the back of his hair feathers, head feathers, to manage it. Come the fuck on. Oh, you assholes. Brackets affectionate. Like the fucking design on the hat, right? Like that like little crown design, that motherfucking thing right there. Rotating that around, right? Like revealing that bit by bit around the edge of Stolas' hat in a way that makes the hat feel fully 3-dimensional. Like, fuck off. Go to hell with this, you... And again, like I've said this before, Stolas, his animation is so much about his hands, right? So much of what he does is about, like, the gestures that he makes with his hands that, like, really emphasize his dramatic nature and, like, his theatricality. And they're, like, all over the file. Like, oh, it stings! Oh, grasping his chest with his hands as though, oh my goodness. People are pinging me. Why are you pinging me? Okay, some people got Daleks. That's weird. You would have gotten that on my voice, right? I don't think I can restart my stream. So you'll have to deal with that yourselves, chat. Back to what I was doing. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, that's my script for the merch read in my latest main channel video. You don't need that. Again, like fucking... Some fucking hand pervert animated this. I know what you are. monstrous to do that with like white outlines that can't actually be full outlines of the fucking, like, presumably, like, the colorist is a big part of making those lines rotate nicely around like the volume of that, because like I could spend a while on this shot, and I'm gonna, because fuck you, this is my reaction, and I react to what I want. The little, like, pat on the chest is like, the schemes I've wrought! What a good gesture. You can't just do that. You can't just do that. And I mean this literally. Like, I know animators who couldn't just do that, right? Like where their skill level is like in other things, but like this specific kind of like full form rotating a real, like an object that is designed to be very flat and two-dimensional, giving it that dimensionality and rotation. Like, that's not something every animator can do. Right? It's a skill set every animator should develop at some point, obviously. But like a lot of TV animation, like a lot of things that you work on, you just kind of don't need to do this kind of like hard drawing. I don't know how to communicate to a casual audience just how fucking the little things, right? These details on Stolas' cloak, right? These little nubbins, this little texture bit, making sure that that remains consistent and looks like it's moving, like staying in place three-dimensionally on his body as it's going around. That can be some fucking fiddly work, especially when you have to like move it around and occlude it around his shoulder like they have to do up here. That's some fiddly-ass fucking work. Like that, it's a little thing. It's something you don't think about, but if those textures, like, on a 3D model, no fucking problem. And, I mean, if I had to try and animate a shot like this, which I couldn't, like, I don't have the skill level to do that, but if I had to, I'd be like, I need to, like, block out this animation on a 3D model and then fucking just trace that shit, because, like, getting, like, stuff like here, you can see this little bit here, right? That thing kind of warps its position a little bit from frame to frame here as it's setting up for like the full movement of Stolas' arm here. But like the fact that these little surface texture bits remain that fucking consistent on a three-dimensional turnaround like this is like, because you can't just let them sit still. Like, they can't just sit still in the frame. They have to move a little bit as he rotates. Like, this one is sort of along, like, the center of the rotation, so these ones don't move that much. But the ones over here, like, they at least have to move left and right, and they have to do it consistent with whatever the fuck else the character is doing. And it's like, God fucking damn it, man. And then, at the same time as doing all of that rotation, give him acting. Like, have him engage in these big, dramatic, theatrical motions. What a fucking tour de force. Like, fuck off. God damn. Like, it's not impossible, right? This is craft. This isn't magic. This isn't like, no one was touched by the wand of the talent fairy in order to do this. This is craft. This is someone who's studied, who knows what the fuck they're doing, who's putting a lot of fucking time into their, like, whoever animated these shots, like, will have spent an inordinate amount of time just for these few little seconds. But the fucking payoff, at least for weirdos like me, the payoff of a shot like this, like, god damn. I am genuinely kind of mesmerized by sorcerers. They're fucking sorcerers. God damn it.
Of the schemes I wrought, I confess it was me and I have no regrets. I have regrets.
Yeah, yeah, no, really, Stolas? You have regrets? Oh, I could not have told. I would never have figured. Lovely little transition into his mind space instead. That's a really cool... I'm sorry, you're gonna get this song frame by frame, apparently. The little water thing, because of course, in Stolas' mindscape, it is water, right? Like, he's always walking on these glassy lake surfaces. Again, differential frame timing on the feathers. Different bits moving on different frame rates to give the greater sense of illusion of smoothness. Oh, good craft!
Why am I throwing my freedom away for this idiot? I would rather be dead. I can live life without you by my side. So
now you're gonna have that realization. Now the both of you motherfuckers are gonna. Oh my god! I mean, they would. It's Theater Kid. Like, of course. Now is the. Of course now, right? Yeah, you're gonna do that now. Oh my god. I'm not upset by it, by the way. I'm just like, these fucking assholes. Like, god damn it, you two moron. I'd rather be dead than I can't live life. How about you run away then? Like, fucking, like, you have, like, just escape. Just fuck off to the mortal realm. Just don't be here anymore.
without you by my side. So if it keeps you alive, what are you doing? I don't deserve this. I am the mastermind, the master of my fate. Sure as the stars have shined, I'll give my life to clean your slate. You're my light. You're my heart. Only death can rend our love apart.
The saxophone riff? You're gonna with the fading of the characters in as like little ghost figures on top of the zoom with the fucking saxophone riff? You motherfuckers. You 1980s cheesy cornball ass motherfuckers. Oh my god. It has to be that, right? Like, it has to be this level of cheese and sincere, because this is so, like, this is the kind of thing, like, back in the early 2000s, like, sort of edgelord dipshits like me in the early 2000s would have been like, this is so fanficky, this is so cheesy, this is so, oh, love conquers all emotion, like this is so eye-rolly, right? So if you're gonna do it, right, and Helluva Boss is a lot like this, if you're gonna do it, you don't go halfway. You don't try and play it cool. You don't have no winking moment of irony, right? No fucking Joss Whedon as, well, I guess that happened. Like, none of that. You go fucking all in. And oh my god, do they go all in.
You're my heart.
Like, with the fucking, and like, we start this song in like the sort of Danny Elfman, like the staccato plink plink, like violence and like piano minor key, la la la, I am the master. And then we fucking just blast off into an 80s motherfucker duet power ballad. God fucking damn it. Fucking saxophone riff. It's so good. Oh my god. Like, fully transitioning from Disney adult theater kid, like, sort of like, aha, this is sort of a villain song, kind of, into this cheese ass Phil Collins motherfucking. Oh my god. Is he gonna get part of the song now? Because that's gonna fucking rule.
Well, isn't that adorable? We have been betrayed by one of our own, a goetic demon. Your hubris has gotten the better of you, Prince Stolas. I am the mastermind, and here I am the law. I rule
Rubber duck, of course it is. I've ruled the endless dark since long before the golden angels fall. Well, he would have some resentment about being made subordinate to him, huh? Lucifer. Again, this is me activating conspiracy brain. It's like, okay, we're bringing up Lucifer. We're making the explicit reference with the rubber duck, and like not that he hasn't been present before, but this is like bringing him very, very presently into the narrative as like a source of like the world building here, which like, okay, so are we gonna get the crossover? Like, are we, because at this point I wouldn't be surprised if they got Jeremy Jordan, like it's Jeremy Jordan, right? Fucking, because to me this feels like it's announcing the crossover, right? Like this feels like it's announcing, hey, when Has Been Hotel season 2 comes out, maybe like the cameo from the Helluva imps, or Charlie has to go to, like fucking they have to go order an assassination of someone from the fucking Helluva crew, or that Lucifer at some point will have to show up in, because again, if they are really, really going for the class thing, and Lucifer is on top of the pile here, like he's the top of the hierarchy, even above Satan himself, I guess, maybe, then he would have to get involved if there's like an actual, you're not going to go fully into the class thing, surely. Like, much like Arcane, you're gonna wimp out on that at the last moment, right? I'm used to that. That's what always happens. You're gonna do that, right? You're not gonna get my hopes up.
Angels fall. So you see, next to me, your master plans all look so small. Little mice, when you break my rules, you pay the price.
More cameras!
Release the pawn. Stolas of the Ars Goetia. You are disgraced.
No, Stolas, you can't do this. Stolas, please, get the fuck off me. Stolas! Fucking use your powers, do something. Stolas! Let me back in. Wow, this is a sturdy door. Ow, my supple wrist.
Sir,
Dad,
you're here.
don't you ever do that to me again, you fucking idiot!
Okay, so we've had the 1. Are we gonna have the 2? Oh, good. She's watching TV. Okay, cool. Oh no. Oh no. I was rather hoping she wouldn't be watching. Stella, fuck off. No, Stella, fuck off. You don't get to play mom about this. You, bitch! If you don't get to play, you do not get to play mom about this. Ooh, ooh.
What are you doing?
I mean, aren't you going to, you know, execute me?
Oh, no, of course not. You are a Goetia.
But I committed a heinous crime.
Yeah, you did. But you are demon royalty, so your life has actual worth.
You can't stop me, right? You know you can't stop me if you...
So, can I go then?
You can go. Yes. No. Oh, no, you still definitely fucked up. We just need to figure out a fitting punishment for you.
Might I suggest something, Your Majesty? I think you should banish this shameful excuse for a prince and allow someone else to take over his legions. Considering the heir isn't yet of age, I'd be happy to volunteer. After all, I'm basically everything he is, but not.
It is interesting, like the way that Andy, I guess, is animated relative to Stolas, right? Where Stolas, like, if Stolas would given the same speech, right? Like, where he's lording over someone, he's being superior. His hands would be all over the place, right? He'd be doing all of the shit. He'd be, like, gesturing and, like, touching their face, like, disgracefully. Oh, you poor little thing. Like, he'd be playing that shit up, right? Andy, fucking name for a demon. Andy something. He's much less hands, right? Like, he's much more puffing his chest, moving it around. Like, he's much more the head, the face, the crest, like peacocking.
I'd be happy to volunteer.
Much more like the facial expressions, like really fucking playing around with the dimensionality of his head and face.
I'm basically everything he is, but
what a little twirl. Oh my god.
He is, but not.
Right, like everything he does is so much face and chest here.
A deviant piece of shit.
Yeah, that works. Stolas, I hereby strip you of your status, your power, and your title.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
For the next 100 years.
Oh, motherfuck! Seriously?
You will have to live amongst the citizens of hell and revel in your failings.
But what about my daughter? She'll be safe and sound with her mother, the wholesome parent.
I guess that settles it. Clocks, John. Time for lunch.
Yay, it's fucking lunchtime!
Like a level of greed and indulgence even B can't get behind.
Bye-bye, Stolas. Enjoy horny jail.
Horny jail.
You open this door right!
Stolas?
Stolas will have to live among the citizens of hell as an ordinary citizen. Well, isn't that interesting? Because one of the primary things that sort of got between Stolas and Blitz was the class divide. The fact that they were inherently of such different... well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that curious? That the one, like the big barrier that was kind of there, that was systemically putting them in different worlds that couldn't be reconciled with one another. It's funny how that's just gone now for 100 years. Interesting, because then if that barrier is all of a sudden gone and now all of a sudden the relationship can blossom, what would happen theoretically if, I don't know, his power and status were to be restored, and then all of a sudden that barrier is there again and they have to deal with it? That sounds like a potent source of angst. If you want to go there, which you kind of have to now, you kind of have to go there now. He can't just be like, I've lived amongst the normies for 10 minutes and now I am class conflict solved. You have to go there. You have to do it. You have to do it for real. Okay.
What happened in there?
I have been banished.
Banished.
You suck, Stolas! Hey, fuck off, fucko!
No, it's fine, Blitz. I'm okay.
You need a ride home.
I have no home now. Everything I have is gone.
Look, come with me, all right? Let's get you out of here. You'll need a place to stay.
Not at Blitz. He can't. Is he gonna stay at Blitz's apartment? Because that seems like a recipe for disaster.
Let's not do that again.
Have him stay with Moxie and Millie. That would be funnier. Okay. Oh no.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Oh
you.
no. Oh no.
Throwing, not necessary. Okay, thank you.
Oh no, he's become a class hero. Oh no. Oh, Stryker's gonna be so mad.
Hey, I'm so glad you're okay. I love you, Dad.
Oh God. We're gonna need to go steal Octavia though. Like with Shake.
Here we go. Here we go. Here you are. It's a nice agua. Oh, try not to inhale the water. Yeah, try not inhaling the water.
Infernal news. Victory for Imp. In a surprising turn of events, today's live execution takes stage of theatrical revelation. Prince Stolas, with the Imp, was only framed for the legal use of... Following Prince Stolas' submission of guilt, the members of the Imp were released on harm for the courtroom, asking the first Hellborn ever to survive after being sentenced to death by a deadly sin. A historical... Hey, lads, deal with it. This is the world we live in. Yeah! If you don't like me plugging my merch store at the top of the episode, fuck you! No, it's okay to skip it. You can skip it. It's okay. Oh, there's a complication being introduced. we tear down one little barrier to the relationship, right? Like, we tear down the class barrier. Oh, Stolas is now... like, relieved of his possessions and his power. There is no longer that element of, like, implied coercion. No longer. And now... oh, cool! Now Blitz is being love-bombed for, like, dominating and fucking with a Goetia. And, like, getting one over on the upper classes. And there he's being raised up as, like, this heroic... like, oh, man, you stuck it to the man kind of thing. But also he kind of wants to bang the man. Uh-oh. Oh. Again, you... fucking Helluva Boss, you better, like, you can't just not, right? This, you have to deal with this. You can't, not just one episode and then we sing a song about it and then we have a little bit of angst and then, I need a multi-episode arc on this. I need it. You can't tease this and then not finish me. Like, keep going.
Thank you, Blitz. Thank you, Stolas. For saving my life. Always.
It's just everyone outside having a party about it. Oh my god.
Hey, Stolas,
Yeah, leave it. Oh, don't. Oh dear. And they really are, like, so... that's the thing again, like, when do we employ three-dimensionality, right? Stolas, most of the time, very flat, non-three-dimensional face. But then here, like, when it's, like, we're seeing him through Blitz's POV, we need him to be the most handsome he has ever fucking been, the most pretty. So, like, we add a little bit more dimension, a little bit more detail, like, we sort of ham it up a little bit. It's similar in kind to... like, you know those shots in an anime when, like, you zoom in on the character's face and it's way more rendered, sort of to show, like, a moment of them being particularly pretty? It's basically the same thing, but in a much sort of not quite as obvious, still pretty obvious, but not quite as obvious way, which, like, aw. Fucking... it's a fucking handsome anime boy ass, Stolas. The little lingering of the hand, right? Like that it's not just like letting it slip down, but it's lingering on the cheek just a little bit and then pulling away. Very good. Oh, that fame should go to Blitz's head. I would like it to go to Blitz's head. I would like it to go to his head a lot. I would like it to make him kind of a shithead. I would like that very much. I would like him to have to deal with that. Because, like, because like Blitz has all of these self-esteem issues, right? Like Blitz has all of this feeling like he's nothing but a burden, like he's nothing but a curse, like he's nothing but a fuck up, and then all of a sudden he gets love bombed by the whole world. Like that would fuck a guy up, right? Like that would like I'm a like F-list YouTuber who gets like a little bit of adoration from a few people on the internet, and I'm already not quite normal in the head, right? Like, so have the whole fucking culture all of a sudden revere you as like a working class hero. Anyone would get fucked up by that. Blitz? Oh, hopefully very fucked up by that. I would like him to be. That would be delicious drama. Anyway, looking at the timeline, it looks like there's some kind of post-credits scene, so... we're just gonna do our little thing. Making sure to linger on the credits, because I need to know who the fuck animated that rotating shot. Like, that Stolas rotation. Like, find me this person! I must know their name! Oh, I like that. That's like a nice way to sort of, like, Obsidian execution block thing. Patrick Page. Okay, Patrick Page. Yeah, fuck it. You can just look at my merch store again. As we head to IMDb. Is this going to be another one of the ones like I've... oh, he's from he was in the Heights. Another musical guy, clearly. Let's see. Big Mouth. Another one out of that particular... he was... Old Man Star. He was Craven the Hunter in a podcast series from Marvel. Interesting. Let's see. Law and Order. Everyone's been on Law and Order. Holy shit. Madam Secretary, Chicago PD. Oh, he was Jonathan Bloom in Elementary. I used to love that show. The Animated Book of Mormon. Oh man, that's a place to start. 1989. This guy has been working for fucking ever. Is he just an actor, or is he like... yeah, mostly an actor. Yeah. In the Heights, 2021. NCIS, Madam Secretary, The Blacklist, even. Flesh and Bone. That's a working fucking actor right there. Mostly been on the Gilded Age. I don't know that show. Oh, wait. I think I've seen some... I think I've seen some shit of that. Of like, okay. Huh. Basically Downton Abbey, but for Americans, I see. As though Downton Abbey itself isn't primarily for Americans. It very much is. Cusack as Mammon. Kesha back as Queen Beelzebub. Jason Lachey as Andrew Alforth. Harvey Guillen. Oh, he was on Pushing Boots. Oh, fuck, it's Guillermo! I was like, that looks kind of like, oh, it's him! "74 episodes of Mickey Mouse's Funhouse? Damn. And he got to be Dick Grayson on Harley Quinn. That's cool. Let's see. Jack Plotnick. I swear to God, I know that name. I'm going to know it the moment I see him. I bet I've Googled him before. Yeah. Is this like another one of those like 40-year careers of just being a working... Yep. 94. Like, some people have just done so much fucking work, man. Like, just... what a fucking portfolio to have in your back pocket. The Drawn Together movie? Oh no! Lyle Rath has more yelling guards. Monica Franco has yelling guards. Katie Gutierrez. Hang on. Do I know that person from somewhere? Why does that name seem familiar to me? Guess it doesn't. Stellar work as always from the animation crew. That fucking Stolas turnaround shot. Motherfucker. God damn. Kel Kane Sylvester. Fucking cool ass motherfucking name. Kane. Additional services by Toon City of Neil Vancouver as usual. Yeah, like they fucking need them at this point. Helluva Boss has really escalated just in terms of the size of the production. Oh, no post-credit scene? I guess I was wrong. I saw the little subtitle bit over there. And I figured, okay, it's because there's some little... Okay, fair enough. Also, compositing. Again, you cannot overstate the importance of having good compositors on something like this. Like, the compositor is a big part of the reason also why, like, a rotating shot like that even works. Okay. Well, shit. Okay. So is this like the season finale, basically? Because it seems like a season finale in the sense of we have now upended the status quo quite severely and sort of changed everything. Like Blitz goes from like a nobody loser that no one really cares about to beloved by the whole city. And like Stolas is taken away from all his wealth and power and has to slum it with the normies. Interesting. Anyway, hello chat. I can see you now. Patrick Page is always from the latest Hunchback musical, and he's Hades in Hadestown? Holy shit. Man, I keep being tempted to... buy tickets to Hadestown on the West End and just making like a weekend trip out of it. I've just never been able to find the fucking time. Also, it's fucking expensive. Vivian confirms that Satan was lying out of his ass and Lucifer was always the first. Okay, well, yeah. Well, that's interesting. Again, that's interesting because that Satan then would lie about that to sort of big himself up. That's interesting. That Satan would be like, oh, you're being edged by this episode. Yeah, I fucking am! What is Hadestown? It's again, I haven't seen it, so I can't confirm personally, but it's like, everyone who likes musicals is like, you have to watch Hadestown, it's so good. And it's Orpheus and Eurydice, right? Where, like, no spoilers, but it fails in the end, but that's the point. Luna is very affectionate in this episode. Yeah, her dad is about to die. We're also waiting for a Christmas episode called Sinsmas. Most of us thought that Sins would appear in that episode, but no. Okay. This episode went by so fast. Yeah? Ooh, the animators for the spinning scene. I just need to... Hang on. No one has talked about this, so I will. Do you have any idea how insane this animation is? Rotating camera with such great consistency and perfect quality of acting and drawings. The artist... Yes? Ludo Doodle for the boards that set it up, and yeah, no, fucking hell. Like, Chimey, you are so right. Like, Jesus Christ. They have locked their account. I hope that's not because they got a whole bunch of fucking harassment. I'd prefer if that was not the case. But, like, these two people, fucking hell. Fucking goats. Like, goddamn. He's one of... Patrick Page is one of Brandon Rogers' friends. Oh, cool. Lucifer not being there is kind of sad, but legal stuff, and if this is set before has been in the timeline. Yeah, like... For me, this feels like it's setting up the idea that Lucifer could show up, right? Like, that at some point, these universes will collide, right? Ludo locked it, they shifted to Blue Sky. I need to follow them on Blue Sky. Holy shit, hang on, wait a minute. Okay, someone link me to, like, I have a couple of the Helluva Boss animators on Blue Sky, but, like, if someone has, like, a list of all of them, I would like to follow them. There has to be a starter pack for that, right? It might be an issue with Amazon. Like, yeah, I mean, the attempt to make a crossover between Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel, so long as Amazon holds the rights, for one thing, right? There's difficulty there because you have, like, that's the thing of, like, if you do a crossover, Amazon also has to approve that, like our brand, the thing that we own to some extent, like this IP which we hold, then Amazon has to, like, approve of these two things being linked together officially, right? Linked together in a way that, like, the people who consume the one thing can also go consume the other thing, and Amazon wants to be shielded from any liability for, like, things that are depicted in Helluva Boss, and Helluva Boss sometimes gets to go a little further than Has Been Hotel did, right? The contract was renegotiated the mail. Yeah, I'm sure they're doing a bunch of work trying to make that crossover happen, because, like, just from the perspective, if I was running Spindlehorse Studio, I would want to try and get everyone who watches Has Been Hotel to go and watch Helluva Boss as well. Because that's where you can merchandise it directly with, like, Helluva Boss merchandise. You get, like Patreon revenue and all of that. That's much more of a stable position to be in as a studio than being dependent on Amazon. Like, I would fully expect Has Been Hotel, like, from a business perspective, that would be my advice to like, not that they need it, but that would be my advice to Spindlehorse Studios, like, try and convert as many people as humanly possible to Helluva Boss from Has Been Hotel, so that you can have that direct relationship instead of being, like, locked. If you could post in the event chat with the links to the profiles, I'd appreciate that, because it's gonna go past too fast in the chat here. The Light of Lucifer was headless. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, this feels a lot like it's setting up for, like, not just that Lucifer sort of kind of exists in the background, that Lucifer sort of kind of exists as, like, yeah, technically these universes are connected, but they never matter to each other. This feels like it's setting up for someone from one show appearing in the other. Which is interesting, like, specifically the way that I.M.P, like, deals with sinners who still have unfinished business on Earth, right? Loop-de-doopty shows up and Has Been. Oh, if they do that, they're doing it just to fuck with me personally. Like, I'm gonna take that person. I don't care. Like, if they do that, I'm taking it personally. Like, you can't do that. Fuck you. Oh, God. Can we listen to Mastermind again? We're gonna... Yeah, no, like... Yes and no. Because if we start that again, I'm going to talk about the spinny shot for another half hour. I definitely felt a difference in the animation style from the intro here. Like, partly some of the ways in which the face is handled, like, on Stella. It's like, was this by a different lead, or was this maybe outsourced to the Manila studio? I wonder. I'm curious about the production, because I feel a difference in some of the ways the three-dimensionality of the characters is handled in this intro segment versus how the characters are handled in like the trial scene and everything that sort of comes after. It's hard to describe. This is more of a vibe. I'm getting a slightly more toony vibe than the sort of hyper stylized flatness that I don't know. I don't have a solid way to put it. It's just that this intro sequence, and especially the bit at I.M.P. here, it feels different in its execution and style than that which comes basically the moment they we swap from the car crash to here. Right, like compare the way that Blitz's face and expressions are handled here. Let me just add a marker. Versus here. There's like a marked difference in the way that they... Yeah, interesting. Like, I don't know that I have anything... Like, this is just a feeling, a vibe. But it feels like maybe two different teams handled those different segments of the episode. This is not a criticism, by the way. This is not like one is better than the other. It's just they feel different. There's something different about the color grading and the way they handle backgrounds as well. Like, again, not just because, like, the locations have changed, so of course that's going to change, but... like, a difference in the cinematography more than the specifics. Envy, greed, lust, gluttony, sloth. Missing pride. And one more. Envy, gluttony. Wrath. Wrath would be Satan, yeah. Yeah, I know Lucifer's pride. Like, he's not straight. Have you seen that man?
For stealing a powerful goetic heirloom for undocumented personal use in the mortal realm. How do you plead?
Oh, this is about the book? I didn't steal that thing. I mean, I tried, right? But since when is attempting a crime illegal? Am I...
They're really having fun with Blitz's expressions in this bit.
Right? But since when is attempting a crime illegal? Am I right?
Always.
Point is, it was given to me, okay? I was allowed to use it.
Lies!
I want to know more about this Woody Woodpecker motherfucker. I need to know all of... like, I need to fucking whatever... Why does he have 6 nipples? Are those nipples? They're probably not nipples. Are they buttons? He doesn't seem to be wearing a coat. What's he wearing? Like, is that a coat? Is that his arm? Is that a coat he's wearing? Like, I don't know. He could be naked up there for all I know. Bird demon with 6 nipples just letting it all hang out in the courtroom. I need to know more about this motherfucker. Like, this guy seems fun. In a really kind of annoying way, he seems very fun. Also, Skex his ass motherfucker with the candles on his head.
Your Honor, speaking on behalf of my aggressively attractive sister...
Would you please stop with that? Aggressively attractive. Could you not? Could you just not? Could you please? Like, God, I mean, the fanfics are gonna go crazy, and that's fine. But just the fucking way he phrases it.
The book? I didn't steal that thing. I mean, I tried, right? But
I know Dark... Of course I know Dark Crystal! Of course I do! How could I possibly not... Have you seen me? No, you haven't seen me, but, like, have you not... This channel, like, honestly, how would I not know Dark Crystal? How would I not? How in the world?
But since when is attempting a crime illegal, am I right?
Always.
Point is, it was given to me, okay?
Oh, not just the movie, like the Netflix show, the fucking puppetry they achieved for the Netflix show, like holy fucking shit. Like it was never like Netflix, it was never gonna get the fucking attention and budget it deserved, but like, oh my god.
Hey, I was allowed to use it.
Lies! Your Honor, speaking on behalf of my
aggressively attractive sister.
attractive sister.
Like everyone like just kind of goes, ugh. Except Ozzy, who's like, hey, incest, cool. He's like, yeah, lust is like that, you know.
I must testify that this brutish imp was forcing himself on her husband, Stolas, who, unlike a responsible and handsome goetic demon such as myself, was too weak and ashamed to come forward about it. The poor thing.
What? Hey, I didn't force shit!
This vile, hideous imp has put his kind to shame.
It is interesting about this like the thing that's sort of made plain by the way that they just kind of go, yeah, you're a prince, so who cares? That they just kind of go, yeah, no, he's like, who cares? That like this is not just like the reason they're putting on the trial at all is because they want to show it off, right? Like it's because they want to make a show out of it. It's a show trial, like literally a show trial in the way that like it's not about justice, it's not about laws, it's not about any of that. It's about let's brutalize someone who threatened our power, right? Like this guy stole from a major demon. He did something like appropriated power that's not supposed to belong to him. So we're just gonna murder him and humiliate him publicly a bunch as like not because the justice system is meant to serve any kind of justice, but because it's simply meant to secure the rights and the property and the interests of the wealthy and the powerful, which, you know, yeah, no, yeah,
Committing such horrid acts to gain the upper hand.
That isn't what happened.
To gain the upper hand. Little things too, like when Satan is like yelling at them, he's the Great Red Dragon. How the fuck did it take me that long? He's the Great Red Dragon because of course he is, because of they're William Blaking that shit. Well, Bible also, but yeah, of course he's the Great Red Dragon. Oh my god. But like the sparks that come out of his nostrils, like to sort of follow the fucking smoke animation, which is gorgeous too. Like, and the little embers that fly along with it. Little details, man.
Sorry, what do we say about?
So this one is from Sloth, right? Like that's what the candle on the head is supposed to signify.
About negative energies in our mind temple. Remember to take deep.
No, I got that he was a dragon, like, immediately, because he's a dragon. It's just, I didn't make the connection that because the Great Red Dragon is out of, like, that's one of the euphemisms for, I think it's in Revelations that Satan is called a Great Red Dragon. I think so, but the most famous one is William Blake's poem. That's where most people in pop culture sort of know the Great Red Dragon thing from, because it's also in his paintings.
Deep breath.
Right, yeah. Continue.
I'd like to add, Your Honor, that in addition to his unspeakable acts with our dear, beloved Stolas...
Wait. Where is Stolas anyway? Can't he speak on this himself?
I just like Corvids. The little fucking Disney-ass bow tie. Also, want to see more of you, fella. Want to see more of you, Vazago. People are super horny for Vazago. Oh, name me a Helluva Boss character they're not horny for. I'll wait. Name me one. No, Mammon. You think people aren't horny for Mammon? Really? The spider guy who ties people up in his webs and is like, no. Looped? Yeah. You know what? Loopty? Yeah. Someone's gonna be horny for Loopty just to spite me personally, I'm sure. But probably Loopty is safe.
¿Qué carajo?
He has not been informed of this trial.
¿Qué? Why not? If this
I'm curious what his power is, because that looks like a light beam, right? And there's stars and things. There's a lot of performance aspect to his character design.
If this involves him, then he should be here, no? Puedo creer. We need to summon him at once.
Okay, Vasago. Shut the fuck up.
No me voy a callar, pendejo arrogante.
Stella and I...
It's a good detail that as when he gets agitated, he can't help but peacock. Miss Scarlet, I will find you in your... I will be in your walls. I will be in your walls. Just so you know. Oh, God. Well, that ship has sailed. Quite literally. Let's see. Vasago, he's the third demon of the Lesser Key, including Thomas Rudd's variant, is referenced as Prince of Good Nature and same nature as a goddess. He lures 26 legions of spirits and is summoned to tell magicians of past and future events and locate lost objects. Don't know how much that relates to his Steven Universe-ass powers down here, but...
Didn't want to put him through the trauma of facing his aggressor. Who, might I also add... Dramatic pause. Plotted to have him assassinated!
Again, the little detail that when Blitz gets really agitated, like the darkness around his eyes deepens. Fucking character design alert. Like, all of these motherfuckers. The fucking lava saliva, that feels like it's associated with gluttony, then. Can we talk about how Stryker's new scar kind of makes him look like Crimson? There's a prologue of behind the scenes making Helluva Boss, which is worth the ending animation load. Oh, I'll check that out at some point, I guess. Is there a furry sky design? Yes, there is. I do have a fursona. Fuck it, let's bring him up on screen just so you can see what you're dealing with. Somewhere over here, I think I have it. Ah, yes, there it is. Nyeh. Looks like that. It's designed for me by Kairush, who is one of the mods on the Discord. He's not naked. He has fur. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. He's not naked. Don't listen to them, YouTube. No nudity here. I would never.
Puta madre.
Yeah, they are eyes. I'm really curious about Sloth. Like, besides just sleeping, what's their deal?
That wasn't him. We don't know who wanted Stolas dead, but it wasn't Blitz.
Oh?
Little things. Oh! Like, as he's going, oh! Like, rising up, like, that they have the little feather collar, like, bouncing like that.
Well, perhaps we should ask... the Hitman!
This fucking guy, honestly. With the fucking white jacket and everything.
Hitman himself! Who has agreed to give us his testimony in exchange for immunity.
It was him, all right. Paid me to kill the precious Goetia to cover up what he was doing with the,
Expressions.
Line? The grimoire! Yeah, that.
What? Look, I am an assassin, okay? If I wanted to kill Stolas, I would have done it my fucking self!
And it's nice, like, the little details of, like, you get why Blitz becomes instantly idolized like that, because, like, he gets to be so angry, he says the dumbest possible thing, which is, like, I could take a Goetia, right? I could kill a Goetia if I wanted to. Like that, and he yells that so loud and so defiantly. Like, of course people are gonna ping on that.
We're gonna fucking die.
Profile picture alert.
Fucking die.
Hang on, that's not what I meant, okay? I'm just saying I could have totally fucking killed Stolas myself. But I would never do that.
I have a feeling Ozzy is trying not to bring Fizz up for whatever consequences Mammon was threatening. Yeah. Again, the class bit here is interesting, especially because like the episode also takes time to establish that there is conflict among the sins, right? Like not just in the sense of they don't like each other, but like clearly that there's like a actual factionalism going on here. Although yet we don't hear from Envy either. I mean, there's probably a limit to how many voice actors even their budget can pay for at a time, especially when Kesha just comes back for a fucking... How the fuck do they get Kesha? Like, getting Kesha once is one thing. Just she comes back as like a jobber for like just a few lines, not even like a featured major role, is like... I mean, I guess she likes the character.
This is bullshit, guys. I've met this little imp dude before. He's a real wild card, but he's a lot of fun, and I think we should hear him out. It's probably not a...
The way she enunciates...
And I think we should hear him out. Should hear him out. 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 Hear him out.
Out. Right? Not out, but out.
It's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a good reason for all this.
Oh, shut up, you two. We all know you enjoy slumming it with the lower class plebs, unlike the rest of us. Right, Levy?
Girl, girl, you cannot possibly.
Oh. You wanna fucking go, ma'am?
You're just pissy. Nobody wants to fuck with a flaming pile of clown shit. Also, suck a dick.
Why don't you buzz on back to your mutt, bitch?
Why don't you keep fucking...
Again, such nice decisions being made about the acting on B's hands and arms. Like, where she crosses them, how they interact with each other, when and where they emphasize. Like, she's pointing with both arms on one side, like...
Elf, you big asshole.
Who wants to listen to hours of testimony? Who wants to kill this imp bastard and get home for lunch?
Oh, fuck all y'all.
Ha! Suck it, you bloody...
Block. I like the smears as Mammon falls. Just little wobble legs. Or little legs made of wobble.
You should have remained in your place, imp. You see, this is what happens when less...
Again, going back to the class thing, right? Stryker was partly introduced as like sort of the first inkling of this idea that there's like violent class resentment and that he would be willing to try and kill someone, like having at least the rhetoric of, so like, I'm killing this motherfucker because of blah blah, right? Stryker was the first inkling of that he's now just kind of placidly working with Andy. Is interesting for the character. Like, in terms of, like, are we simply going to reveal that Stryker has no real internal morality, that he's just kind of appropriating whatever rhetoric justifies doing whatever the hell he just wants to do at the time, which is like that's a person that exists, especially in revolutionary spaces. Or does Stryker have like some kind of internal like fuck these guys, right? The universal unifying theory of fuck that guy. Is that going to be a part of his character? Because like again, I was kind of expecting that was going to be the turn, is that these assholes were going to just shit talk imps so badly that Stryker eventually kind of goes, well, fuck this shit. It's interesting that class shit doesn't really mean anything to the head 7, but it matters a lot to the demons one rung down. No, like clearly class things matter to Satan as well. Like Satan also seems very invested.
Fine. I suppose I created MASTERMInd to be obedient. I see no reason to punish the dutiful. Just axe the mouthy one.
Oh,
And due to your bold actions against the laws of hell.
Nice little emphasis on bold. Due to your bold actions against the laws of hell.
The laws of hell. Your execution will be broadcasted across the 7 rings to remind all of MASTERMInd why our power must.
Not subtle either about like, oh, this is like a working mom in a home having like a regular life.
Must never be challenged again.
Of course he's eating the wacky charms. With the longest bendy straw in the universe.
No! God damn your highness! It was me.
Stryker did seem to have an internal morality when it says that Fizz was worse than Blitzo, because at least Blitzo was just doing it for pay. Yeah, like, I wonder about that. I wonder about Stryker. Like, whether he's just fully an amoral hypocrite who's just appropriating whatever rhetoric is available to him, or whether he's someone who has, like, an interiority, like, who actually has a code of some sort, like, some line that he would be unwilling to cross. He microaggresses against other imps, though. Yeah, I mean, again, that's... If we're talking about, like, in any class structure, it's not just that you have the upper class and the lower class. You also have, like, the upper class very invested in creating these levels of hierarchy down the pyramid. Because if you can... like, that's where the middle class comes from. That's where the middle class as a concept comes from. It's this idea of, like, separating a certain group of the working class from the other half of it. And saying, no, you people aren't, like, working. You're not, like, the filthy workers, right? You don't flip burgers. You don't scrub toilets. You're managers. You're middle managers and regional managers and also project managers and managers of managers. And you're the middle class. You're not the lower class. You're not like those little filthy bastards. Your interests align much more with the upper class. You should stomp on everyone who's below you. You should stomp real hard so they don't get uppity, right? Like that's where the concept of the middle class comes from, is this idea of separating out the working class and saying, like, oh yeah, you work for your money and you don't own anything and you're still subject to the whims of the people who control the means of production, but you're not workers, so you shouldn't have solidarity with them. So, like, that's a very common thing, is that, and that's not just capitalism, right? That's in any class hierarchy, feudalism as well. Any of these, like, very conservative, like, pyramid-shaped stratified hierarchies, a part of the mechanism that enforces that structure is that every layer of the hierarchy is constantly being told by everyone above them that if you want a chance to rise, if you want a chance to better your conditions, if you want a chance to like anything, you have to step on whoever's below you. You have to step really, really hard, and you have to step over other people to get higher up on the rung. because that reinforces the idea that hierarchy is the only thing which is possible, right? And that everything is organized by the hierarchy. And that's an answer, like, it's also a means to destroy solidarity. It's a means, like, it's divide and conquer in a very literal way. That if you can convince the people who are just below you on the ladder to punch downwards instead of up, then you can ensure that there's always going to be someone below you for you to step on, right? And that applies to, like, it applies basically across like oppression dynamics. Same thing, like, you'll hear like black scholars in the US will talk about this, like this thing where a big part of how capitalism and how like racism is maintained in the US is because there is this cultural hegemony where even the lowest of low white trash is told through racism that they're still better than a black man, right? You're still better than the non-whites. Like, you still have a superior position that you have to protect. And if you ever stand in solidarity with those filthy non-whites, then they're going to take that special position away from you. They're going to, like, drag you down to their level, right? It's the same thing. There's more to it than that. It's like, that's a very simplified sort of explanation of it. But like, these patterns replicate. And it's something, this is like a more sort of practically applicable version of this. Pay attention to that in your fandom spaces. Like, if there is a fandom or a strain of fandom that you're in where the main activity, like the main way that someone becomes notable in the fandom is by shitting on other people in the fandom, like punching down, like by creating these hierarchies of who's the good fan and who's the bad fan, that's that same general pattern replicating all, like, it's fractal. It replicates itself all the way down. So like pay attention to that in your social dynamics as well, because it infiltrates everything, right? You get that, like, in certain fandoms where, like, shippers will sometimes have these wars, like these stupid wars over, well, this ship, if you ship that one, that's good, and if you ship that one, that's evil, right? Like, that makes you a bad person that everyone should, like, be together in hating on those people because they're the ones ruining the fandom and making it worse. And if we can just punch those people hard enough and get them out, then we can better our condition. Our fandom can become more respectable. It can become more pure, more wholesome, more moral, whatever it is. Like, and pay attention to that, like, because not in the sense that there should never be criticism or that there should never be, like, disagreements or anything like that, but in the sense of, like, if the whole fandom is like if, like, the social aspect of the fandom space that you're in is organized primarily around trying to have fights to determine who's the better fan, who's the more pure fan. This also applies, like it's the same thing with, like, gatekeepy shit, like, oh, you're a Marvel fan, like, name 40 comic books, right? Name 40 heroes. Like, what's the name of like the alternate identity Spider-Man uses in issue 641? Like, that is also that shit, right? That's also that hierarchy shit about trying to establish I'm above you, right? I am a better fan than you are, right? I am a better, member of this fandom. My love is more pure. My understanding of this thing is like more rational and more complete. And you're a tourist and you're a moron. You don't belong here. Like, it's the same thing. It's about establishing hierarchy, and it's about trying to secure your own position against an imagined threat from someone else coming in, right? So it's the same thing, like, you get with, like, all the fucking men who cry like little piss babies over women and trans people being in the Warhammer 40k fandom. It's because they see it as a threat, right? Like, that if these people are allowed in here, then I have to share my space with them. I have to exist in some kind of solidarity or community with them, and that reflects badly on me because I despise them. And if I have to be in the same space as them, then their wretchedness, their like misery, that, like, all their negative qualities are going to rub off on me, and I don't want to be in the same space as them. The separatism that's there, right? You can hear it also, like, if you listen to the fucking Silicon Valley tech bros who reinvent the bus every 6 months from first principles, the way that they are like, oh, everything needs to be self-driving cars, and every single car needs to be an individualized personal space where no one else can be there. I don't want to be on the bus because that's where the poor people are, right? I don't want to be on public transport. I don't want to be on the bus. I don't want to go on the train. I don't want to go near other people. I want my own personal, self-contained, isolated space that only belongs to me alone. It's the same impulse. It's that same, my thing, my space, I must guard it from everyone else because I fear the concept of solidarity, because I think that's going to take things away from me, rather than understanding that solidarity means, like, it's the rising tide that lifts all boats, right? What were you talking about? How the fuck did we get here? I think I blacked out for the last 15 minutes. Oh my god. Big drink of water. Class, right? Yes, because of Imp's class thing. Like, again, Helluva Boss, you can't just do this fucking mom raising 3 kids, doing the dishes at home. Like, set up this very, very... She has a picture of the circus. Huh. You can't just set this up and be so obvious about it. Like, next season of Helluva Boss has to be about this, right? Next season of Helluva Boss has to be about navigating the social stratas, the class dynamics of hell. Because otherwise, why make a point of forcing Stolas to be slumming it with the working class for 100 years? You're a demon royalty, so,
Your life has actual worth.
Because, like, geez, like, because even when Stolas has transgressed, right? Like, even when Stolas has literally broken all of the laws for which anyone else would be executed, they're still like, well, you're inherently better than them. Because they need to believe that. Like, that has to be true in order for the hierarchy to be valid. If Stolas could be judged like an imp, then, oh, wait, no, then we're equals under the law. We can't have that, right? So it's also this thing of, like, even if they wanted to, they couldn't just execute him. Because that would sort of undermine pretty severely the foundations of the whole sham-ass bullshit legal system they've set up, if a demon can ever be killed for transgressing, right? It's that thing, if something is a crime that's punished only by a fine, then it's just legal for the rich, right? If the only punishment for a crime is a fine, then that means the rich can just do that. If you're a billionaire, you can just do it forever, as much as you want. That law simply does not apply to you, right? And that's one of the ways that under a capitalistic system, or a system that, like, is structured and organized around property rights, that's one of the ways you establish that two-tiered legal system. It's the same thing that's happening to Stolas here, right? Like, it's the thing of, like, well, you're only paying a fine, right?
No, you still definitely fucked up. We just need to figure out a fitting punishment for you.
Might I suggest something, Your Majesty? I think you should banish this shameful excuse for a prince and allow someone else to take over his legions. Considering the heir isn't yet of age, I'd be happy to volunteer. After all, I'm basically everything he is, but not a deviant piece of shit.
Yeah, that works.
Right, just like, yeah, sure, we'll just transfer your funds to someone else, whatever.
I hereby strip you of your status, your power, and your title.
Fucking Andy. It's like, yeah! Fully having an orgasm and then getting edged to denial right at the end.
For the next 100 years.
Oh, motherfuck! Seriously?
You
like, literally, like, he's pulling the thing back off. What? I was about to come!
will have to live amongst the citizens of hell and revel in your failings.
But what about my daughter? She'll be safe and sound with her mother, the wholesome parent.
I guess that settles it. Clock's John, time for lunch.
Yeah, it's fucking lunchtime.
Kill.
Bye-bye, Stolas. Enjoy horny jail.
Ooh, Stella. Stella. Ooh. Just like, it's another interesting thing that Stella, like, Stella's investment in Octavia is that just because Octavia is the heir, right? That Octavia is Stella's key to power, right? Because that's an interesting gendered oppression that doesn't really seem to exist elsewhere in Helluva Boss. Like structural sexism in the same way that we see in the real world doesn't seem to be as present in Hell that we've seen. In the sense of, like, if Stella can only have access to her legacy, like to inheritance, to the power of the Goetias through her child, right? That's a very sort of classic women are only valuable for their reproductive power, kind of patriarchal. But we see plenty of female Goetias that are powerful and seem to be in control and power, like have control over resources and things like that. So I'm curious, like, what the level of patriarchy is that we're working with there. Right? That, like, all of this power apparently was under Stolas' control to start with. And that Stella had no claim to it except through Octavia is... Because, like, they're all Goetias. Right? Where did Stella come from? Did she come from, like, a branch family of the Goetias? We don't know, yeah. More that she's an unneeded child that can be used as a pawn and married off. Yeah, like, it's branch family sort of thing, where she's from a branch family that's trying to get back into the main line of descent that holds all the... I'm curious about that. Because, like, the extent to which Stella is subject to gendered oppression will inform some things about her character, right? Like, why is she the way that she is? Well, if she's a woman who believes that her only access to a good life, her only access to power, to the upper classes, is through, like, this violent manipulation and, like, control of her daughter and her reproductive power. Again, nothing that will excuse her behavior whatsoever. But it adds a layer of, like, okay, that's one of the things that will turn a person into that, right? Like, is if you believe your only act... Because, like, that's one of the ways that women historically were convinced to, like, engage in class oppression, right? Is, like, you see that in the early history of feminism, right? Like the suffragettes of like, the early American sort of liberation movement. There was, like, a very much a thing of, like, yeah, we don't want black women to vote. Like, an argument that was used in favor of giving white women the vote was, well, if you let black men have the vote, those beastly blacks will do all kinds of terrible things to the country, and we can counteract that by letting pure white women have access to the vote, but not black women, right? And, like, that, like, there is that element of, like, again... create a hierarchy, tell someone your only way to preserve your position is to punch down, is to, like, brutalize anyone who's below you. That also happens along gendered lines, right? Like, that also that happens along every line that can be artificially defined to separate people from one another, to separate people from community and solidarity. All of them are used. Every single one. That's why I brought up Fandom previously, because, like, you see that, like, that's part of the fucking anti-woke gamer bro grift bullshit that's happening right now, is partly that's the far right attempting to establish, like, use the category, the culture war category of gamer as yet another rubric by which to divide people from those they should be in community and solidarity with, right? Black women couldn't vote at first? Yeah. Like, yeah, very much. Like, I don't remember exactly how suffrage was introduced in the US. I don't know exactly where it was, if black men got the vote first, but, like, part of the argumentation for giving women the vote was to get the vote away from black women, right? I know that in Denmark, suffrage was introduced universally. Like, when women got the vote, we also gave the vote to, like, people of, like, all people universally, because we didn't have a domestic population of, like, non-white people in the same way that could be, like we didn't have that same racial dynamic that could be used to, you know, divide people in that way. It was more along, like, it ran along different lines with us. But, like, it's a pattern. Like, it's a consistent, repeating, replicating pattern across every aspect of society, every layer of hierarchy, not just within capitalism, but within every form of culture, because it's conservatism. Like, it is the foundational structure of conservatism is a pyramid, where some people deserve to be on top, and some people deserve to be on the bottom, and all we're fighting over is who's on top and who's on the bottom, right? And that's what the concept of socialism, the concepts of anarchism are like. Actually, that hierarchy is stupid and fake, and we should get rid of it, right? Because we should all be on the same level, equal. We all have an equal stake in society, in the world, and we should share those duties and burdens and benefits equally among each other. Which is not to say, again, socialist movements are not perfect about this either. Not by a long shot. But it's the theory. Can we look at the door sigils again? Yeah, because, like, I was curious about those, because I couldn't immediately identify which was which. Let's see. Lust. Sloth. That has to be Mammon, then, right? Because that's B, that's Lucifer's wrath. Oh, the centipede would be Mammon. Yeah, I guess, but he's more of a spider, isn't he? Yeah, that would be Envy. Like... Oh, no, Envy is over here because of the octopus tentacles. Right, 2 fish. So that would be Mammon over there. Yeah, that makes sense. And then above that, the snake, the apple, Lucifer. Interesting with the cracks in this sigil, though. I'm curious about that. Because of his absence? Yeah, well, is that just his absence? Because, again, we see very explicitly that there is conflict and divide on every level of this. Like, the Goetias and, like, the demon princes are all fighting, scrappling over power, trying to, you know, gather more to themselves. The sins themselves have these conflicts between one another. I wonder. The root of all evil is a character. I like that B and Ozzy are besties. Yeah, I think that's cute, that gluttony and lust. Like, they feel like they should go together in that way, right? Because it's both things are like a specific kind of, like, hedonism. Yeah, I know you have Palomax Lotl, but if you think I'm going to put it in a video, you are sadly mistaken. You think I want to encourage this in the world? Absolutely not. Rue was a character in old lore. Unsure if she's still going to happen. Yeah, oh god, like, I can't imagine how much fucking... Like, one of the things about Helluva Boss and Has Been Both is that it's so clear that this is, like, a narrative universe that, like, Medrano has been, like, incubating in her head since she was, like, a teenager or whatever, right? Like, this is like her OC universe that's been, like, percolating up there for years and years and years, and there's so much deep lore and so many ideas and so much, like, and she's just slowly unraveling all of this shit like she's Eiichiro Oda. And building out her world for all to see kind of thing, which is like, and again, this is where, if I could get an interview with Medrano, I would be very curious to ask about, like, the extent to which that universe has changed with the collaboration of other people, because I imagine it must be a lot. Like, there must be a lot that's happened with, like, the collaboration of Brandon Rogers, with, like, the collaboration of the animators, like, the writers, like, the people that she's had to work with. Like, the influences of, like, Has-Been Hotel and being forced to work within that, like, the strictures of Amazon and, like, that commercial production. Because, like, so much of it forces you to make changes, right? Like, at some point you are forced to make changes by the structures of the medium that you're working in. That, like... I'm really curious, like, the extent to which themes, ideas, places that the story was supposed to go have just kind of fallen away, world building details that have just been irrevocably altered. I see people other people have dove into the deep lore. That's your mistake. Just be glad that I haven't. I will never dive into the deep lore. I'll never do it because these videos are long enough already. It's interesting how the deadly sins all rule over different facets of the world. Satan being the main judge and law, Belphegor ruling hospitals and so on. Yeah, like there's again, it's that evidence of a huge sort of internal developed lore that someone has like built out over years and years in the back of their head and on notebooks and in like art pieces that they posted to DeviantArt kind of thing. And it's also interesting to make Wrath specifically like the center of the justice system, right? Like that you have this justice system that's ruled by Wrath because and that ties in very well with like, that's one place where it sort of fits with Has Been Hotel, right? Like this idea that these concepts of justice, these structural hierarchies of like justice and truth and righteousness are always just enforced with violence, right? Like always just punishment. Without like they are not about creating justice, they're not about making a better world, they're just about enacting punishment on those who are less powerful, right? That's what heaven is in Has Been Hotel, right? It's like, why do you go to heaven? We don't know. We don't care. Like, it doesn't matter that a bunch of people are trapped in hell forever and get eliminated by extermination. It doesn't matter. They deserve it because we're punishing them, right? Like, they deserve to get punished and hurt and harmed forever. So it makes sense that Wrath would rule in hell in that sense. Like, have that place of power. That the entire justice system is just about designating who's going to be punished, right? Not about creating justice, not about, like, making a better society or improving the world in any way, just about designating who gets punished. Because, again, hierarchies are all about punishing whoever's below you as hard as you can at all times, right? Hey, Skyen, how do you feel about the whole YouTube community now knowing... I mean, I can edit this video, you know that, right? I can just cut chat out of the video entirely. How would you like that? I have the power here, not you. Wrath isn't a wholly negative thing in the writing of people like Aristotle. Well, yeah, but Aristotle also thought that some people were naturally just slaves. So I don't know how much I want to trust him about anything. Aristotle's primary accomplishment in history is being wrong about everything he ever said. So, you know. But yeah, like, I don't mean to say that wrath is necessarily a bad thing. That's also part of like the Hello universe is like gluttony isn't bad, right? Like we see that with B, that gluttony isn't evil, lust isn't actually evil or bad or wrong in and of itself. Right? That is not that sins are actually naturally sinful, right? Like they're not naturally bad or evil behaviors just because. But, like, thematically, it makes sense that wrath is the center of the justice system because it's only concerned with enacting punishment and pain, right? Except greed. Greed is a piece of shit. Yeah, I mean, some things are bad, but it's not just because it's a deadly sin that means it's evil, right? Some of us think this location isn't in Wrath, but is Pandemonium or the circle where Lucifer is contained under all the rings of the cap. Yeah, I mean... that feels less like Milton's conception of hell and more like Dante's, frankly. Although, in Dante's conception of hell, this circle would be frozen rather than burning, so who knows. Healthy wrath is perfectly fine, it's just how you handle it. Yeah, like there are reasons to be angry with the world. I should know. Frozen like Andy. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, where the fuck is Encephalopus? Where's Andy Candy from? Exactly. What circle is that? Like, does anyone know, like, where he lives? Because it doesn't look like any of the other circles. Wasn't that Pride? Well, that's where Has Been Hotel takes place, right? A sin is only bad when it harms other people. I mean, there's nuances to that, but sure. Look at the architecture. Yeah, it's a theater. That's the other thing, like the performative aspect of it, right? This isn't really a courtroom, it's a theater. This is a performance space. For the benefit of the audience. Which is true to some justice systems in the real world as well, I will say. You can tell which ring it is by the sky. We don't get to see the sky down here, do we? Like, I guess the stained glass is red, so there's red light. But is that because there's red light outside from the sky, or because the stained glass is red? Who knows? Both Satan and Lucifer have a parallel of being entertainment than theater and circus. Yeah. Which again goes back to, like, that goes back to my thinking about, like, all the fucking eyes that appear absolutely everywhere in this fucking show. Right? That appear everywhere. Like, the importance of being seen, of being perceived. Because that also ties into, like, that also goes back to, like, a bunch of things about, like in conservative Christianity, right? Like, in certain kinds of Christianity, it is more important to be seen to be good, to perform virtue, to perform, like good deeds and, like, correct values, rather than actually acting in accordance with, like, the principles of like, Christ's preachings, right? That's part of the reason why, like, you get these right-wing reactionary dipshits who constantly accuse anyone who thinks racism is bad of virtue signaling. It's because that's the way in which they understand that. Like, the only reason to publicly say that you have a good moral value is because you want to perform it for other people so they can see you have a good moral value and you can gain social capital thereby. It's because that's their only understanding of why anyone would do that. Why would anyone say that they believe in anything except for the approval of other people? Because, again, in the conservative mindset, everything is about power. Everything is about a power struggle. The only reason to adopt good moral values is to gain, like, a more secure position in a power structure. So that's where a lot of that comes from. That's where you get a lot of these accusations of, like, virtue signaling and stuff like that, is because that's the only ways in which they understand what's the purpose of doing any kind of activism, what's the purpose of, like doing any of that. Well, it's to loudly perform your values in order to denigrate an other and, like, cement yourself as a moral authority. Christianity is performative. No, it's not. Like, as a fundamental thing, no. There are many, many performative versions of Christianity. Like, most of, like, Catholicism is heavily based on performance. Certainly the Calvinists are obsessed with it, the Puritans are obsessed with it, but Christianity as a thing doesn't really have a lot of inherent qualities that of the ones that we associate with them. Those are cultural, social constructions. Yeah, there are also forms of Christianity that are intensely private, that are like, you should not involve any other fucking person in your relationship with God whatsoever, right? Those are not necessarily inherently any better. Like, that's not how it works. Like, there's no form of Christianity that's inherently, like, morally good, in the same way that there's no ideology that just makes you automatically morally good. Like socialists can be pieces of shit just as surely as capitalists can. It's like that's a different discussion, but, like, yeah. Also, the sins supposedly have a circus troupe theme with Lucifer ringleader, Satan strongman, B animal tamer, mammon clown, Belphegor seems to be some sort of diviner, like psychic or hypnotist. Envy is probably an acrobat or contortionist. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, the circus theming is so present in Helluva Boss. Like, so much of it is performance. So much of it is theater. Like, it's not a coincidence that like Stolas is a theater kid, right? And that his play here, right, in this courtroom, his play for trying to reverse the fortunes of what's happening is to put on a show, because it's a show trial, and that's the only thing that matters. Because it's not about truth, it's not about what's real, it's about what do you perform, right? So again, with the eyes. I'm curious. Asmodeus is the fire breather. Yeah, he would be. That's another thing, again, like, if I could get an interview with Medrano, I'd be like, okay, so the eyes. Like, what's the deal with them? Like, you don't have to spoil me, but you have to, like, is this something that it would be worth my time to spend, like, 2 hours just, like, fucking obsessing over? Like, whether we're dealing with the evil eye, whether we're dealing with the concept of, like, sight vision as, like, the idea of having a concept of the future. I don't know. I don't know. Don't hold your breath for me to get an interview with Medrano, by the way. Like, I have many other things on my plate. Anyway, let's fucking hear that song again. I'll try not to interrupt it.
I came down just as soon as I heard of the imp stood accused of a devilish crime. Could it be that a worm such as this, half a brain, could concoct such a plot so sublime? Does this fool deserve the flame, or is someone else to blame? Like who, you ask? Some kind of mastermind, a mind behind the plan. Some villain's grand design to use the book to breach the world of man. Could he be roaming free, scheming more mastermindery? Will he rest? Who knows what he may unleash? Next, do you execute this little wretch? Pat yourself on the back, close the case. Let this imp take the blame, take the fame. Let his name light a fire in the hearts of his race. Why, it's more than I can bear. I must make all of hell aware. Fuck it! I am the mastermind, the hand that holds the strings. No simple imp of mine could master the disaster. Oh, it stings that you thought you had caught the schemer of the schemes I wrought. I confess, it was me and I have no regrets. I have regrets.
It's that's the moment that all of the instrumentation changes. That's the moment we go into the power ballad, right? It was me and I have no regrets. I have regret. Like, that's when we cross over into the fucking pop song. It's like, what a good transition.
I have regrets. Why am I throwing my freedom away for this idiot? I would rather be dead. I can't live life without you by my side. So if it keeps you alive, what are you doing? I don't deserve this. I am the mastermind, the master of my fate. Sure as the stars have shined, I'll give my life to clean your slate. You're my light, you're my heart. Only death can rend our love apart.
The fucking saxophone.
Well, isn't that adorable? We have been betrayed by one of our own, a goetic demon. Your hubris has gotten the better of you, Prince Stolas. I am the mastermind, and here I am the law. I rule the endless dark since long before the golden angels fall. So you see, next to me, your master plans all look so small. Little mice, when you break my rules, you pay the price.
wait, you're my light, you're my heart. Only death can rend our love apart.
Well,
That right there, that thing he's about, that's horny. That is horny.
well,
There, like the smoke coming out.
well.
Like, not to everyone, but to a certain kind of person. I recognize it when I see it.
Adorable. We have been betrayed by one of our own.
I like the chorus thing as well.
We have been betrayed by one of our own.
That, like, as soon as he starts speaking, everyone starts like, oh, right? They start sort of supporting it. Except our dear boy right here. Surely there's gonna be more of you.
Demon. Your hubris has gotten the better of you, Prince Stolas.
I am the mastermind. Here I am the law.
I ruled the endless dark since long before the golden angels fall. So you see, next to me, your
Motherfucker. Again with the fucking smoke animation in this show is stupid good sometimes.
master plans all look
So small.
little my.
I kind of wish they'd extended the breathing flame thing just a little bit. I guess they wanted to get his face out there fast so they can do the lip sync, but I would have loved to see just a few more frames of like this, like breathing fire curling off of him. Just because I like that kind of animation. Like, I like it when animators get to play with volume like that. And again, I do appreciate that there's embers in his little smoke puffs.
When you break. When you break my rules, you pay the price.
I like the little modulation downwards. Pay the price. That's like a good way to like, give it that finality, right? Satan shouldn't end on a high note. More cameras, because it's even more of a show.
Release the pawn.
Release the pawn.
The odds, Goisha. You are disgraced.
No, Stolas, you can't do.
It is funny to me that Stolas, like, on the one hand, he understands. Like, he understands the power structure well enough to know that, like, if he wants this ploy to work, right? Like, he wants this song to resonate and win the show, right? Because this is basically a talent competition in that sense. He has to play to the whole, like, oh, imps, they are uppity and they're trying to claim power. This little demon imp, no, he could never mastermind. It was I, a demon prince of Goetia. Because that's a more compelling narrative, right? And yet he hasn't quite sussed out, like, you know, they're not going to kill you, dude. Like, you have impunity because you are part of a class that needs to be preserved as superior, right? As above the law.
Stolas, please, get...
Once again, blind to his own privilege. Yeah, exactly, Shed. Like, that Stolas still has that blindness to just the sheer level of not the same world that he lives in as Blitz, right?
The fuck off me!
Oh, I see. What a fucking anime-ass little thing to do. Aw. What a nice little run bit there. Like, managing the weight of, like, tumbling down, catching himself with the hand, pushing up, and then... Like, a good dramatic run. Right? It's not like a fast, it's not like a zippy run. It's like one that got this a lot of emphasis on the weight of the motion.
Use your powers! Do something! Stolas! Let me back in!
And then...
Ow! This is a sturdy door! Ow! My supple wrist!
The tone thing in Helluva Boss, right? Like, we go straight from... Blitz has realized that he loves Stolas more than life itself. Like, he's about to see him die, and then... Wow, this is a sturdy door! Let's do some jokes! Oh, my supple wrist! And then right back to crying. Difficult, very difficult tonal shift to pull off there.
Sir, Dad, you're here. Don't you ever do that to me again, you fucking idiot!
Also, Stella. Again, my interest with especially the gendered part of, like, Stella's position. Like, does she love her daughter? Right? Does she love Octavia sincerely? Like, is there any part of her that is like, I need to raise her to be like me so she too can learn to protect herself in this system? Or is it purely, I need this thing to secure my access to my class position? Because either would be interesting. Right? Like either a parent who, like, has a completely fucked up shitbag, horrible, like, idea of what the world is and who you have to be to survive in it. Or else someone who merely looks on this thing as something she owns and which she wants to control. Right? Whether she's like, yeah, Mother Gothel, right? Like, is she a Mother Gothel? Or is this a thing of, like, I love my daughter, but literally the only thing I know is how to, like, perpetuate abuse, right? Like, literally the only thing I know is, like, the only way to survive is to become an abusive piece of shit. And I need to, like, I need you to get away from your weak father who's turning you into this, like, soppy little, like, thing that can't defend herself. I wonder. Mother Gothel has style and serves. Listen. Stella's a piece of shit, but the bitch has style. Let's not get this twisted. Like, the fucking dress and, like, the hair thing. Like, listen. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? She serves cunt in every sense of the word. Like, brackets positive, brackets go to hell, right? Because certainly to me, the implication of this shot, like when you see the red sort of fade and it all goes blue and cold, and Octavia holds on to the only source of comfort she has access to, that little smile gesture feels like I have secured the object that I need, right? I have secured access to the possession that is required in order for me to have what I want, right? Well, the twittering bird sound is her crying. Like, I am curious, like, again, I just want more of Stella's interiority. Whether she's complex or whether she just is the heinous bitch that she seems to be, like, whether there's complexity, I don't necessarily want her to have any kind of like a sympathetic backstory at all. It would be fun. I would like to have a villain who's just an unrepentant piece of shit from start to finish. Like, that would be good, but it's something that does need to be made obvious, right? Like, it does need to be made explicit that, like, no. Like, you're thinking about Stella in terms of like what's her position in this system of oppression and like what kind of psychological. No. This is just a piece of shit. This is just an asshole who's a garbage person who's decided to be a garbage person from birth. Have no sympathy for them. That's also fun, right? But my interest is in, I think, like, unrepentant villain Stella is fun. That would be more fun, like, because you can just hate her then, right? You can just hate her with no guilt, and you don't have to listen to anyone be like, oh, actually, she's more complicated. Just like, fuck you, piece of shit, go to hell, right? That's nice. It's nice to have villains that are just, like, fully bad with no redeeming qualities. But it would be more interesting on a narrative level to explore, like, what makes Stella the way that she is. At least if she's going to be a major antagonist on an emotional level, right? It's that question of, like, Andy, for example, right? And we don't need his interiority. Because his position as a villain in the narrative is not, he's not close to anyone, right? He's not close to anyone on a personal level at all, right? Like, he has no real personal relationship to anyone in I.M.P. He doesn't have any real personal close relationship even with Stolas. He just kind of hates him. So from a distance, passively, on principle. Stella is different because she is Octavia's mother, right? She's deeply, like, and Octavia clearly loves her mom, even though she maybe shouldn't, right? Because you don't really get a choice in that matter. She is Stolas' former wife, right? Like, it's, I think in terms of her position in the narrative, if she's just a shit-ass fuck you villain who we're supposed to hate, right? Then she kind of has to be disposed of without consequence, right? Like, it kind of has to be just a thing of like, yeah, we got rid of her because they're like, fuck it, whatever. Like, maybe Andy just decides to kill her because she's no longer useful or whatever, like he was planning to. But if she's supposed to be like a major antagonist of any kind, then I think we do need to get a sense of like why she feels her behavior is justified. Right? Like, why she feels she has the right to be the way that she is, right? Understand the ways that she is wrong. I'm really curious. I am really curious what her relation... That's the other thing. We've not really seen much of Stella as a part of Octavia's childhood either, right? Because the fact that Octavia is willing to look to her for comfort, right? And the fact that Octavia is genuinely deeply upset when Stolas is shouting and screaming at her, like when they're fighting. It certainly says to me that for as much of a bitch as Stella has been to Stolas, she has at least been capable of cultivating love in Octavia, right? Of, like, Octavia clearly isn't scared of her, right? Octavia isn't afraid of Stella. Octavia will look to Stella for comfort. So clearly their relationship is closer than that, right? Stella has at the very least performed the bare minimum of motherhood to earn her daughter's love, right? Which, you know, again, we don't have much of a choice in, like, our emotional attachment to our parents a lot of the time, but still. Like, she has been enough of a positive presence in Octavia's life that Octavia doesn't, like, run away from her on instinct. Which, you know. I'm curious. Like, again, I'm curious to see what their deeper relationship is beyond just Stella and Stolas both kind of using Octavia as a football to kick between them. Like, Stola's less than Stella, obviously, but still. Again, because the thing is, like, Octavia is clearly only valuable to the Goetias because she's an heir, right? Like, we need one of them to have around, you know, just for the convenience of it. This is an object whose presence is required for the functioning of the power hierarchy. And, like, if they come for Octavia, right? Like, if the power, like, now that Octavia is fully outside of Stolas' influence and protection, presumably they're going to come for her, right? Like, they're going to come for her, like, now you need to be a proper lady. You need to be initiated into the Ars Goetia cult of nobility, right? and they're going to start attempting to begin the indoctrination. What's Stella going to feel about that? How's she going to guide Octavia through that? Because she's at least going to have to perform being supportive, right? She's at least going to have to perform, this is going to help you, right? Like, this is going to give you security and safety. And how good is she going to be at that? Because she has not really shown the capacity with anyone else to even pretend to have empathy. So I wonder about that. Yeah, like Stella to me, like it really is, even though Andy got to be like the main sort of preening villain piece of shit in this episode, Stella to me is way more interesting. At least on a conceptual level, I'm way more curious about what she does next, if anything, right? Because Andy certainly considers himself in the driver's seat. He's like the agent who's pushing all of this to happen. Does Octavia know he's alive? I think they're not going to tell her. I think they're just going to say, yeah, your dad's dead. Because he's banished for 100 years, right? But I don't think they can keep, like, because there's going to be so much attention on Blitz, right? Because Blitz is going to have all of the I.M.P cameras on him. I think some people are going to know that Stolas is alive. And she's going to find out. Like, I think they're going to try and lie to her and keep it from her. And then she's like, well, no, actually, that doesn't make sense, because Luna would just text her. Luna would just text her, your dad is with us, surely. So I don't think that plot would work. Like, unless, of course, it's a thing of, like, they take her phone away, they keep her away from the TV, they try and control her. Again, like, I'm so curious about, like, Stella's level of complicity and what exactly she's gonna do to Octavia. Like, what level of toxic mom is she going to be? Right? Because it's probably a pretty high level. Again, like, just as a bit of storytelling, what an elegant way to say, yeah, this place isn't built for Stolas, right? This is an environment that he's not suited for.
Hey.
Because he's built for mansions that have, like, 9-foot tall ceilings or whatever. Or 15-foot, like, feet. How much is... A foot is like a third of a meter, right? Like, of a real unit of measurement. Something like that. 15, 20 foot ceilings. He's not really built for an apartment.
I'm so glad you're okay. I love you, Dad.
It's the same as a car. Yes, exactly. Like, that these spaces where Blitz is comfortable are just not built for Stolas, right? Like, he cannot physically be perfectly comfortable in them because he doesn't fit them, right? And, like, for Stolas, like, seeing Blitz, I love you, Dad, like, getting hugged by his daughter, and Stolas is there like, my daughter's with that bitch now, and Andy, and I can't get back to her, right? What must that feel like for that poor man right now? I laugh at your pains, Stolas, because you're a fictional character, and it's okay if you get hurt. It's okay if you get hurt really, really badly. I can just enjoy it. I love fiction.
Here we go. Here we go. Here you are. It's a nice agua. Oh, try not to inhale the water. Yeah, try not inhaling the water.
I do like the intimacy of it, right? That Blitz is the one who sort of washes all of that away, right? Takes care of him.
Here we go. Here we go.
Like, there's a lot of reversal of power relationship here. Because now that Stolas no longer has all of his status, Blitz has the power in their relationship. Like, he's the one who knows how to navigate the world outside of nobility. He's the one who knows how to get food. He's the one who knows how to get shelter. He's the one who has access to all the material things that Stolas needs, and Stolas doesn't. So, like, there's a deep reversal of the power dynamic between them, which, like, I would like Stolas to have trouble navigating that. I would like Stolas to have a really difficult time not being the guy in control of things, like not having access to any kind of like control or power in the situation. I think that's interesting.
Nice agua.
How do they have a shirt that fits him, by the way?
Oh, try not to inhale the water. Yeah, try not inhaling the water.
Right, that they're also taking care to show that Blitz is like immediately kind of like, oh shit, this worked out really well for me somehow. That like he's immediately getting intoxicated a little bit, right? Not like, doesn't even take 5 minutes before he's like, wow, I'm famous now.
Thank you, Blitz. Thank you, Stolas. For saving my life. Always.
Just make him prettier. Make him the prettiest little boy he's ever been in his entire fucking life with his heart-shaped face and the handsome features. It's so funny.
Hey, Stolas,
Those are Luna's clothes. Ah, well, I guess that makes sense. It's the tufts of feathers, I swear. Yes, it is. It's that he's a little disheveled. He's a little pathetic. He's a little sad. He's vulnerable. He's weak. And he's so pretty. They know what they're doing. Like, it's pitched very specifically. Wet cat, just like Victor. Same appeal. Like, same appeal. Like... fucked up, sad, pretty boy who's lost everything, who's rock bottom. But maybe if you love him, maybe if you take care of him, right? Maybe your special affection, your devotion, your care, maybe you can. Maybe for you he would get better, right? Maybe for you. That's the appeal. I can save him, I can fix him, I can, right? I can take care of him, I can bring him up, right? I can raise him up from the bottom and give him purpose and love and affection and care. I can make him worse is another one. Is another appeal, but that's what it is here. Like, that's like, he needs me. He needs me to take care of him. He needs me to love him. He needs me to be there for him, right? Which is also, not for nothing, it's a very common fantasy in people who did not receive that kind of affection themselves and have desperately romanticized the beauty of doing what they couldn't get for themselves for someone else. Just saying. It's like, that's a thing that occasionally happens. I get it, though. I get it for good reason. Like, that's a lot of romantic fantasy can come from wanting to enact that which you feel that you do not receive, right? Like, if you've ever been in this a situation like Stolas when you're absolute fuck off rock bottom at the ground floor of being a piece of shit, right? It can be very, very powerful to have someone who's willing to fully take care of you, who's willing to love you no matter how much of a sad sack of shit you are, and pull you up, like, in a hug and hold on to you and prop you up and help you find your feet again. That's something a lot of people emotionally need in their lives, and when you don't receive that, you know, fantasy sort of steps in. Just like, I want it to go to your head, you little piece of shit. I want you to get so fucked up on this love bombing. I want it to ruin you. I want it to make you the worst piece of shit. Oh, I want it to get to you, Blitz. I want it to fuck you up. I want it to fuck you up, you little sack of shit. Like, genuinely, I'm really hoping that's what they're setting up for, is Blitz sort of having this having to navigate, like, in the same way that Stolas, like, has to constantly had to navigate, like, being Ars Goetia and yet being in love with an imp, that Blitz has to navigate. Like, Blitz has to navigate, like, on the one hand, loving Stolas, but then also having this entire society around him that rewards him with intense fame and affection every single time he's an asshole to the nobles, right? Like, every single time he says, yeah, fucking Goetia's, like, big demons, yeah, fuck him. I can take, like, because Blitz would let that go to his head, right? It would be very, I think, as a piece of character, like, especially when it comes to, like, both giving Stolas some access to what Blitz feels like, right? Like, what did Blitz feel like when Stolas was like that with him? Like was dismissive with other imps and was, like, not conscious of the way that his words and his behavior could hurt Blitz? And also giving Blitz access to, oh, so that's how that happens. Like, that's how this level of fame and power and control and, like, this status upgrade can instantly kind of turn you into a piece of shit towards people who don't deserve it. Like, it would, I think, just for their character dynamic, it would be good for both of them to have that reverse experience. To be honest, the writers managed to balance their power levels again and escape the abusive tendency by a thread. Well, yeah, but these things are often patterns, right? Right? Like, I think it would be narratively interesting. People in chat are talking about hurt, comfort, fix. Yeah, like, hurt, comfort, fix are very much in this space, right? Like, hurt, comfort, fix as fantasies are very often about playing out in fantasy the kind of love and care that, like, that feels absent in real life, right? And that can be from both end of, a hurt comfort fic can also very much be about, like, enacting a fantasy of, like, I want so badly to be able to provide comfort to people in my life. Like, the powerlessness that comes from not being able to help the people that you care about is, like, it can be intense. And, like, in a hurt comfort fic, like, it's like your help can matter, right? Like, you can actually your love can actually save someone, which in real life, a lot of the time, loving someone isn't enough to save them. That's sort of the tragedy of reality is, you know, the power of love does not always conquer all. So a hurt comfort fic can be a way to, like, have that catharsis of, like, no, I will love people until they're okay again. Like, I can love them hard enough. I can overcome systems of oppression. I can overcome everything. And just the power of my love can fucking fix things for once, right? Like, for once in my fucking life, the fact that I loved someone will be enough to save them. That can be a very powerful fantasy as well. And one that's worth exploring, like, one that I think is beautiful, honestly. Like, it comes from a very beautiful place, I think. Not always a healthy place, but a beautiful one. Because, like, it can also come from this thing of, like, I have to fix everything because everything is my responsibility to take care of, right? Like, it's my job to fix the world. That can also be part of the psychology of that. Which, you know, again, I know that for good reason. There was something else. My god, fucking ADHD brain. There was something I wanted to look at in the episode. Yeah, so that would be Pride, right? Like, with the red sky, one assumes. But I don't remember what it was, so now I have to go through the whole fucking thing until I can see it.
Given grimoire.
It's still so fucking funny. Grimoire. He cannot talk normal. Like, this man cannot talk normal. He has to grimoire.
Goetia given grimoire, and you didn't tell me?
Why do you care?
Because we have been trying to figure out a means to usurp your horny ex-husband's power, and this whole time you knew about the incredibly illegal thing he was doing, and you didn't think it might be a good idea to let me know?
Well, don't yell at me!
Another thing that's interesting about Stella, like, I really think it's interesting that Stella has never shown any of her demonic power. right? Like, even when she's maximally turbo pissed off, even when she's losing all control, never shown any hint of, like... And this is her brother, right? Like, you'd think they were on a similar power level. And so the question again becomes, like, is that because she doesn't have any? Or is that because she's very, very, very cautious about where and when she deploys it, right? Yeah, I think, like Chneki Niv, you might have a point there that it's because she has none, right? That Stella is a nobody who believes she's a somebody, right? Like, that she is just a pawn in other people's games. Again, it would be interesting to... Again, if Stella's character is at all nuanced, it would be interesting to me if Stella's like, yeah, no, I never show off my power, because then, like, if they know how powerful I am, then it's easier to control me, right? Like, it's... I'm curious about it. Like, if she is literally powerless, right? Or if she is someone who's, like, who has learned very early on that whatever power she has is something that she has to keep to herself as a trump card, right? When the situation goes bad enough that she needs to unleash. Because that would be interesting also, right? Like, that's, like, again, if Stella is a character with more depth, if she's someone who actually has critical thought about, like, where and when do I show what I can do, right? Like, is her power so great that she's like, yeah, I'll just fuck my way through life and, like, fuck everything up, but then whenever shit goes south, when it really goes south, I can just apocalypse everything, right? I don't know. I think it's more likely that she's powerless, ultimately, but isn't that interesting in and of itself? Like, how the hell do you end up with a powerless Goetia, right? Like, how do you end up with a powerless demon on this level? Because that also seems like something that's dangerous to the propaganda, right? Like, if Stella is a demon who's actually powerless, like, where any fucking imp could basically overpower her and wouldn't even have to do anything because she doesn't have any inherent magic, any inherent, like... That would also be that would also present a little bit of a problem to the class structure, right? That the idea, oh, some of them are actually just nothing, right? Like, some of them have no actual real power. That is interesting. Yes, I have noticed the thing about the pupils. I think I've talked about it before, actually.
You are so lucky you are hot, Stella.
Oh, Andy, you piece of shit. I just...
So lucky you are hot, Stella.
So, the four of you are... Remind me again?
We're interns, sir. We're looking for cool businesses to work for.
Yeah, I know.
I'm curious if the interns are gonna come back at all.
Employees at the moment.
Oh, interns work for experience, sir.
Come again?
Experience.
Oh, you mean for free?
Experience?
Well, I can't argue with free, kiddo. You're hired.
Sir, you need to see this.
Come out! We've got you surrounded!
Employees of the illegal business, I.M.P. You are...
I kind of want the interns to come back. Like, since they just kind of get shoved out to get fucked over. I kind of want them to come back and, like, be, like, minor antagonists or something like that. Or, like, they come back and, like, but you hired... Like, now that I.M.P. is, like, the big celebrity company in hell, that they come back, well, we already hired. You already hired us. We still want to work here. Like, even after I fucking threw you to... Yeah, that was so cool! Like, that would be... I would like them to be more, like, characters. Like, again, if the next arc of the show is very much about Blitz dealing with being popular and liked... that he has this little squad of fans just following him around at the office, always telling him how great he is. It's like, ooh. That's delicious little fucking opportunity for Blitz to get corrupted. Viv did say recently we'll get a deeper look into Stella in a future episode, and that she was made to just straight up be a horrible person, but that there's still an explanation for her actions. She compares her to BoJack's mom in BoJack Horseman. I haven't seen BoJack Horseman, so... I don't know exactly what that means, but good. I want insight into her. I want to know what the fuck, why she is that way. I haven't seen BoJack Horseman. I haven't had time to. You know what else I haven't seen? Season 2 of Gravity Falls. Didn't finish Steven Universe either, because I have ADHD. Aw, chat! Well, since we're all gonna die, there's one more thing I feel I must share with you. I did not care for The Godfather. Did not care for it. Didn't finish Steven Universe. I have ADHD. I'm sorry. Other things show up and then they take over my attention and then I never get back to them. That's just my life. That's just my life. I am medicated now, but like some years since Steven Universe ended, you know. It happens. There's no way around it. That's just the way it is. Okay, I think... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. 3 hours? Really? Jesus Christ. Okay, I can't remember what the other thing was. I don't think it was important then, probably. Yeah, I think we can probably just cut it here, because 3 hours, Jesus fucking Christ. Listen, I can't watch Steven Universe on this channel. I can't watch BoJack Horseman like this. That's not a thing I can, like, I don't want to get into that with Netflix, Jesus Christ. Another talk about, yes, merchandise, please buy it. Please spend money to give me money. And you can have things with stuff on them that look like it's blue, and that one can be pink. There's other colors than black, I swear to God. Even for the mugs have different colors also. You can get it in like a lovely blue or a pink because of, you know, it couldn't get a white on the interior, but there's white on the front, so it has the colors. Yes, money, give them to me, please, in exchange for things, and Black Friday deals is there. Anyway, I think that's enough now. Do you know what happens? Yes, I've read the wikis. I know what happens in Gravity Falls. I know what happens in Steven Universe. I read the wikis. I have ADHD. Come on, give me some credit. Of course I read the wikis. Can we buy your Fursona plushie? I'm working on it. I will make plushies at some point. Just need to figure it out with CrowdMade. Anyway, say goodbye to YouTube, chat. And YouTube, I will see you later for whatever the Christmas episode turns out to be. Take your bets whether that one's going to take more than 3 hours. What the fuck's wrong with me?